Obito, who now seems to have complete control of 10 tails, stands in front of Sasuke. Momentum. Become more restrained, although not as strong as the oppressive feeling just now. But it is precisely this situation that shows that Obito has really reached the level of ease. Thanks to your attack, I was able to strengthen my will and completely master 10 tails. Now you are no longer my opponent, Uchiha Sasuke. Obito's words are very flat, and his tone is full of confidence. And Sasuke smiled. If you are too absorbed in watching the sky, it is only 6 paths, so you think you are invincible. Even Sasuke dare not say that he is invincible, at most he is invincible. However, Obito is obviously more arrogant than himself. Are you really that sure you're invincible? Hearing this, Obito smiled. You won't understand how strong the power of 10 tails is, you have to experience it yourself to know. Saying that, Obito looked at Sasuke. For the sake of you helping me, I don't need to do anything to you if I admit defeat now, and I can get to this level step by step without relying on other forces. You are indeed a rare and peerless genius, but it's a pity. You only rely on talent, and you must know that sometimes relying on talent alone is not enough. Uchiha Sasuke. After mastering Obito of 10 tails, the momentum is restrained but the person becomes more arrogant. Sasuke pouted. There is no action. A thunderbolt fell from the sky in an instant, and struck down fiercely in the direction of Obito. Boom. Obito, who was bathed in lightning, had no intention of dodging at all. Hit. Naruto looked at Obito. Why doesn't this guy hide? The thunder and lightning dissipated, and NVC's voice sounded again. Now. Your attack is useless to me. Seeing Obito, who was struck by lightning but not injured, all the ninjas were taken aback for a moment. This guy actually ignored Sasuke's attack? Do you understand now? Sasuke-kun, your attack is completely ineffective against me? Completely mastering 10 tails, that is to say, completely mastering the power of 6 paths, ordinary ninjutsu or ordinary chakra has no way to harm Obito at all. This may be surprising news for Hokage at all. But for Sasuke. What about the attack is invalid? What about the magic chakra? After the voice fell, Sasuke's sage transformation was activated instantly. The huge fairy art chakra burst out suddenly. In an instant, the ground trembled faintly, as if there was an inexplicable air current crushing crazily towards the surroundings. All the ninjas felt that their bodies suddenly became much heavier at this moment. It was as if a weight of more than 10 kilograms had been placed on his body out of thin air. What a strong chakra wave. The ninjas looked at Sasuke, although they had felt this way before. But the current Sasuke feels much more intuitive. This kind of oppressive feeling that can be felt easily makes the ninjas feel as if they are suddenly frozen. Obviously Sasuke didn't perform any ninjutsu on them. Even Madara was stunned by Sasuke's chakra wave for a moment, staring at Sasuke with wide eyes. This feeling. What is going on? Obito's originally confident face was suddenly full of fear. Instinctively began to fear Sasuke. This is impossible. It's impossible for him to feel like this. Absolutely impossible. I am already a sage of 6 paths level existence. I have the power to dominate the world. How could it be possible to be intimidated by a person who only relies on his own talent to become stronger? Impossible, absolutely impossible. Thinking of this, Obito's eyes instantly burst into murderous intent. Since he is still so afraid of Sasuke, then kill Sasuke and completely remove the threat that this guy poses to him. Beep. Suddenly, Obito soared into the air and flew towards Sakata. That's right, flying. Obito, who has mastered the power of the 6 paths, has the ability to levitate and fly. And the speed is extremely fast. For an instant, all the shadows were stunned. Another flying ninja. Boom buzz. The collision of the elbows instantly caused an astonishing detonation sound. The ripples that swept across in an instant caused the surrounding ground to crack instantly. Sasuke stood on the spot and didn't take a step back. Despite the powerful impact, the ground behind Sasuke sank instantly. But Sasuke still didn't back down. Obito was stunned and didn't expect Sasuke actually had the strength to contend with him. 6 paths. Doesn't mean invincibility, Obito. A dark light flickered in Obito's eyes as he spoke. He raised a truth-seeking ball directly covering the crossfire, and launched it fiercely towards Sasuke at close range. Sasuke raised his eyebrows, although the strength is comparable to Obito, but the truth-seeking ball is now untouchable by Sasuke. What's more, there is a cross offering fire. With this power, Sasuke can only temporarily avoid the edge. A step back, and then Sasuke dodges instantly. Looking up at Sasuke who was retreating, Obito smiled. It seems that you also know the power of the truth-seeking ball very well. Boom. The ground was hit by the truth-seeking ball, and instantly a large piece of land disappeared out of thin air. All the Hokages present were dumbfounded watching this scene. The destructive power is not enough to make them so surprised. What is really surprising is that the black ball is very weird. They didn't see the process of how to cause damage at all. Boom. Suddenly there were explosions in Sasuke's direction. The ground that exploded was constantly shaking. Turning his head to look in Sasuke's direction, one after another truth-seeking balls are constantly bombarding in Sasuke's direction like cannonballs. Obito, who was chasing him, attacked Sasuke crazily with a fairy stick in his hand. During this process, Sasuke can only dodge, even launched a counterattack. Whether it's flames or other attacks, the truth-seeking ball instantly turns into a black barrier, easily blocking Sasuke's attacks. Not even any fluctuations at all. Ha ha ha. Feel it now. This is the power of Sage of Six Paths. Uchiha Sasuke, do you understand how powerful the 10 tails are? The truth-seeking ball was twirling in Obito's hands, and its power was even more astonishing after it was covered with the crossfire. With a casual throw, despite Sasuke's thought, the layer upon layer of earth walls instantly rose up. But the truth-seeking ball, like hitting tofu, easily penetrated the walls of the earth formation one after another, and burst towards Sasuke at an extremely fast speed. Sasuke turned over to dodge, facing the successive attacks of the truth-seeking ball. It is absolutely impossible to stay in the same place for too long. Boom. Vibration. Explosive fluctuations, daily wave after wave. The fight seemed to get more intense, and this time Obito was perfectly pinning Sasuke. It made Sasuke dodge very embarrassingly. This moment. Only then did someone speak. What is that black ball and why? It can ignore all attacks. Is this thing really so destructive? The doubts of the Hokages. No answer at the moment. And Naruto's expression is very dignified. Others don't know the truth-seeking ball, but the 9 tails in his body know what the truth-seeking ball is. Naruto. Truth-seeking ball. Must not be touched. Truth-seeking ball. What's that? The name of that little black ball? Naruto asked. 9 tails nodded. That's right. That thing is called truth-seeking ball, and it's exclusive to Sage of Six Paths. What kind of art is this thing? I don't know what the specific technique is, but I know that this thing must not be touched. Once you touch it, the body parts that touch it will be erased instantly. Erase? What's the meaning? Naruto felt that his brain was not enough. 9 tails smiled. Literally, don't you understand? Naruto, who was stunned, looked at Sasuke who was dodging the truth-seeking ball in the distance. It turned out to be the case. No wonder Sasuke kept dodging. Sasuke. He also knows the power of the truth-seeking ball, that's why. 9 tails shook his head. Maybe I don't know, but you know that as a powerful ninja, he always has instincts. Maybe his instincts perceive that this thing is not simple, so the regiment doesn't want to be casual. When Naruto learned about the truth-seeking ball from 9 tails, the shadows are extremely curious. The power of that little black ball is amazing. No matter what ninjutsu seems to be completely unstoppable. What the hell is that thing? It doesn't matter if it's amazingly powerful, and it can change its shape freely. While talking, Naruto suddenly spoke. That thing's called a truth-seeking ball. The exclusive power of Sage of Six Paths, everything touched will be erased. Naruto looked at Obito who was constantly attacking with the truth-seeking ball. It's not powerful, but the difference in nature, the power of the truth-seeking ball, can directly wipe out all attacks, everything. Hearing Naruto's explanation, Hokages, even first Hokage Senju Hashirama, couldn't help but gasp. No wonder. It's no wonder that Sasuke just dodged blindly from just now until now, and has no intention of fighting back at all. To be precise, the counterattack seems to have no effect at all. Is this the power of 6 paths? That truth-seeking ball was a foul. With the existence of this thing, all of Sasuke's attacks are useless. On the other hand, the opponent can attack wildly, even if Sasuke can temporarily dodge all of them. Is it possible to keep dodging like this all the time? If you keep it for a long time, you will lose. If this continues, sooner or later, when the flaws are revealed, Sasuke will probably. Let's help too. Suddenly Hashirama spoke. Hearing this, Ju-Zan and Tobirama frowned. Naruto also looked at Hashirama in surprise. Sasuke. Whatever his purpose is, the biggest enemy now is this Uchiha Obito, who has mastered the power of 6 paths. One sage of 6 paths brought peace to the world, and now there is no need for a second sage of 6 paths. Everyone bowed their heads and thought for a few seconds. Then raised his head. Tsunade was the first to say, "Then let's do it. Etc. If you want to intervene in this battle, I'm afraid you have to get our permission first." Fourth Kazekage, second Mizukage and Tsuchikage appeared one after another. Stand in front of several people. Hashirama sighed helplessly. Wanting to help Sasuke is not that simple. Tsunade, Tobirama, and Hiruzen stepped forward, and then Hiruzen looked back at first generation and Naruto. Shodai, Naruto. Leave this to us, and leave that to you. Hearing this, Hashirama nodded, "Don't worry. Speaking of which, Naruto and Hashirama are going to help Sasuke." And this time, Susanoo's curved blade blocked them both. Lama. Uzumaki Naruto 9 Tails Jinchuriki. Sorry. You guys can't intervene in the battle over there. Madara strikes again. Motor. Are you still obsessed with it at this time? Obsessed? No. Madara doesn't think so. He doesn't think Hashirama and the others can help in the past. On the contrary, it will only add to the chaos. If only Sasuke is alone, the speed of solving Obito may be faster. And Madara waited for Obito to be hit hard. At that time it was his turn to make Madara debut. Now the battle between Obito and Sasuke can also let Madara know more about Sasuke's ability. How could such a good thing be ruined by these two guys? Absolutely not. Boom boom boom. There came again from a distance, one after another terrifying roars, and a fierce storm swept away. Sasuke's body flew upside down in the air rapidly. The unbalanced body rotates rapidly, like a spinning top. Bang bang. After smashing several huge rocks one after another, Sasuke stopped slowly. He raised his head and wiped the corner of his mouth gently. Sasuke looked up at the front. 3 truth-seeking balls were raging rapidly in the air. Now Sasuke is also a little angry. The pupils shrink slightly. All the techniques are indeed useless to the truth-seeking ball. Then, they can only fight with the power of 6 paths. But now Sasuke has not yet mastered the power of 6 paths, and the only power of 6 paths he has mastered is Reincarnation Sharingan. Reincarnation Sharingan itself has the power of 6 paths. In other words, the technique of Reincarnation Sharingan has the 5th of 6 paths. Shinra, Tianjung. The sudden burst of repulsive force fixed the speeding truth-seeking ball in midair. Sasuke gritted his teeth and exploded his pupil power crazily, strengthening the impact. On the other side, Obito also controls the truth-seeking ball, which keeps hitting Sasuke. The two forces had an invisible collision in the air. Boom after wave. At the moment when Sasuke controlled Shinra Tianjung to resist the 3 truth-seeking balls. Brush, brush, brush. In an instant, the truth-seeking ball that swept from several other directions swept directly towards Sasuke from the rear, left and right. This made Sasuke stunned for a moment. This time, it's really not good. The truth-seeking ball surrounded Sasuke's retreat. At this moment, Shenluo Tianjung is being released, and there is no way to use Flying Thunder God immediately. Even with the help of the Spirit King, Sasuke's pupil power is now bursting, and Chakra has no way to wrap Sasuke in the first place and move Sasuke away instantly. Obito was laughing maniacally. Now. See how you hide. It's over. Uchiha. Sasuke. One day Sasuke exists makes Obito feel uneasy. After all, this is a man who suppressed an entire era with talent alone. Even if he was promoted to the Sage of 6 Paths level, he still felt afraid of this man. One can imagine how pervert Sasuke is. This guy doesn't have the power of any tailed beast yet, and he has come to this point on his own. It can be said that he is even more legendary than Madara, the strongest of the Uchiha clan. At this moment, Hashirama and Naruto also instinctively looked in the direction of Sasuke. When they saw the truth-seeking ball surrounded Sasuke, Sasuke seemed unable to escape. The two were also very worried. If this gets hit, it's death. Bang bang bang. 3 truth-seeking balls hit Commander's assistant at the same time. Light burst. A strong and dazzling white light seemed to bloom from the truth-seeking ball, and suddenly the white light illuminated the sky for a moment. Covering the entire battlefield, everyone fell into a world of whiteness. Can't see any screen. All that remains is Obito's maniacal laughter. Ha 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 ha. Finally kill you, Uchiha Sasuke. When the white light fills the sky and the earth. For a split second, everyone closed their eyes when the glare disappeared. The expected roar did not sound. When everyone slowly opened their eyes, the white light shrank to the vicinity of Sasuke. Look at the unusual white light in front of you. At this moment, all the shadows stared at him with wide-eyed curiosity. Instinctively told them that this white light seems to be somewhat not so simple. What exactly is this? Obito was located less than 10 meters away from Sasuke, looking at his side like slender tentacles, constantly flickering. A strange uneasiness slowly emerged. He also stared at Sasuke, and his instinct told him that Sasuke was not dead. Suddenly the white light dissipated for a moment, and Sasuke appeared intact. The white brilliance slowly dissipated. The shadows stared at Sasuke, who was safe and sound, and the words Naruto said before were still echoing in their minds. The truth-seeking ball can destroy anything it touches, and all obstacles can be blocked by the truth-seeking ball. What about this scene now? Why is Uchiha Sasuke doing nothing after being hit by so many truth-seeking balls? How did this guy do it? The most shocking person at the moment is Obito. He knows exactly what kind of power the truth-seeking ball possesses. That is the truth-seeking ball that contains all kinds of power. Can easily erase everything. Why Sasuke is completely fine. Why? Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. Sasuke does not have the power of 6 paths. Why can he ignore the attack of the truth-seeking ball? And the point is, what about your own truth-seeking ball? Why is it gone? What happened to that white light just now? Obito stared blankly at Sasuke, who had a faint smile on his face. Looking at you, you seem very disappointed. Disappointment. No, Obito is not disappointment, but surprise, disbelief. It is obvious that Sasuke has been surrounded by his truth-seeking ball, and it is impossible to escape. It can be said that it is almost foolproof, but it is still unscathed. Why? The truth-seeking ball is indeed a terrifying thing, containing omnipotent power, capable of instantly erasing everything it touches. If you don't have the power of 6 paths, you can't touch this thing at all. At the same time, any ninjutsu attack can also be directly erased. Even the attack of Shienju chakra can be effectively defended. Sasuke said. The sound spread throughout the battlefield. At this moment, all the ninjas were stunned. The power of everything. Is there such a terrifying thing contained in that little black ball? Although they are somewhat incomprehensible, the more incomprehensible something is, the more terrifying it is. But do you think the truth-seeking ball is invincible? Sasuke laughed. Looking at the change in Obito's eyes, it's obvious that this guy thinks so. What a pity. Although I haven't mastered the power of the 6 paths yet, the truth-seeking ball is nothing more than the fusion of the 5 tranquility chakra and the yin-yang tranquility nature transformation. At the end of the day, it's still chakra. 5 escapes plus yin and yang. Is this how the truth-seeking ball came about? Sasuke's words made Obito stunned for a moment. Although he has the truth-seeking ball, he can't make Akamichi Jade. Because he has not mastered this power. But I didn't expect Sasuke to know. Why does this guy know such a thing? 6 paths level power. Sasuke never had it. How could he know such a thing? You. What are you doing? How do you know? Sasuke smiled. Not to mention that Sasuke knows the plot. It is normal to know this kind of thing. Even if he doesn't know the plot, now that Sasuke has the god spirit, he can easily know the composition of the truth-seeking ball. After all, using the gods and spirits to comb it into the original chakra, although this process is to restore the truth-seeking ball to the pure chakra. In this process, the whole process is actually restored to Sasuke. And with Sasuke's talent, isn't it the process of condensing and making a truth-seeking ball if the process is reversed? Congratulations to host. Successfully mastered the yin-yang escape technique truth-seeking ball, mastered. Because the host yin-yang done chakra nature transformation has not yet reached the 6th level, it cannot be cast. Even if there is no system prompt, if the current Sasuke has this kind of power, he can already make a truth-seeking ball at will. How do you know? I probably know a lot more than you do. 6 truth-seeking balls were directly consumed just now, and Obito now has 3 left. He shook his head. No. Impossible. Just how can you block the power of 6 paths level? You must have used some kind of opportunistic trick to block my truth-seeking ball. Saying that, Obito seemed to want to try again or to expose Sasuke for his opportunistic ways. Raise your hand and throw a truth-seeking ball at Sasuke again. But this time, Sasuke didn't have any cover. The white light in the raised hand exploded. Gods. Launch. In an instant, white silk threads flitted out of Sasuke's hand like tentacles. Wrapped around the truth-seeking ball in the air, when the white silk thread appeared, Obito suddenly remembered the white thread he saw just now. Is this thing that resolved my truth-seeking ball? And the next second is not as simple as resolving it. Under Obito's surprised gaze, the truth-seeking ball disappeared, as if it was disintegrated instantly by these strange white silk threads. Seeing this, Now Tien was instantly dumbfounded. How is this possible? Is that the truth-seeking ball? Can't stop this strange white thread? What kind of trick is that? Why is the truth-seeking ball being disappeared? No matter what ninjutsu truth-seeking ball is, it is impossible for it to disappear. Truth-seeking ball can resist all ninjutsu attacks. Your jutsu. How? That's not surgery. Sasuke's voice sounded. Raising his hand, the white silk thread danced in Sasuke's hand. This is called God Spirit, is Tonkyon. Its ability is very simple. All attacks formed by chakra can be combed back to its original state. Even the truth-seeking ball is, after all, a product of various chakra nature transformations. When combed into the original state, it becomes harmless. Chakra. Gods. Comb all the attacks formed by chakra into the original state. How could there be such a pupil technique? Obito stared blankly at Sasuke. If it is said that he was full of confidence in the truth-seeking ball just now, he thought that the truth-seeking ball was an invincible force. So now blocked this God spirit from the truth-seeking ball. That's true God technique. Return everything to its original state. Mastering this technique, even if Sasuke is not at the 6 paths level, he still has the capital to fight against himself. Uchiha Sasuke has long been invincible. God. Ming. Spirit. Madara, muttering the name. Good. Suddenly Madara burst out laughing. The shock in Madara's heart at this moment was extremely strong. I didn't expect such a technique to exist in this world. Although pupil surgery. But Sasuke's pupil technique can be called heaven-defying. Comb all the attacks of the chakra structure into the original state. What's this? This is a magic skill. This also means that if you want to hurt Sasuke, the techniques that are basically linked to chakra, it can be said that all of them have lost their effect. And to defeat Sasuke, it means that there is only one way. Gymnastics. In other words, hit commander to help before Sasuke can't completely comb a certain attack. But this possibility is very slim. Great skill. This kind of pupil technique is simply a divine skill in the true sense. Magical skills. After listening to Madara's evaluation, everyone came back to their senses and looked at the current Uchiha Sasuke. Indeed. Hashirama nodded. Such a technique is indeed a divine skill. With this technique, even if it is Sage of 6 Paths, it will be very difficult to kill him. Hiruzen was stunned for a moment. Any attack in the form of chakra is useless, so that means you can only use body skills? In terms of physical skills, this kid, if I remember correctly, he can even know 8 inner gates, Tobirama said. Tsunade on the side smiled. Not only that, he has also developed a unique ninjutsu, Thunder Breath, which is not weaker than 8 inner gates. Naruto. Sasuke will also be flying Thunder God and Lightning Style. One is a jutsu like Lightning Style Chakra Mode, and the other is a space ninjutsu that moves instantly. It has an absolute advantage in speed. There is an absolute advantage in speed, so in other words, only Sasuke wants to escape. I'm afraid no one in this world can stay. Is this the current Uchiha Sasuke? Even against Obito at the 6 paths level, Uchiha Sasuke is already undefeated. Madara sat beside Susanoo laughing wildly. Such an outstanding junior of the same race. The other party can reach this step only by relying on their own strength. It is indeed the ninja world, 100 years. No. It should be said that it is the most outstanding ninja in the entire history of the ninja world. It's a pity that I didn't live in the same era as such an amazingly talented person, but if I were born in the same era, then I'm afraid there would be nothing like Uchiha Madara. Ha ha ha. Madara's laughter made all the ninjas click their tongues secretly. This rating is probably the highest. But now after Zhongying's explanation, ordinary ninjas also fully understand the horror of Sasuke. Physical skills and speed are the best in the entire ninja world, but ninjutsu-type attacks are directly ignored. As this Uchiha Sasuke? There are basically no weaknesses. Even if Sage of 6 Paths came in person, his attack would not be able to hurt Sasuke at all. unless he possesses stronger physical strength than Sasuke, and at the same time gathers faster speed to suppress. The hearts of the ninjas are also extremely shocked now. After all, it's a monster. A monster through and through. HMPH. Gods. Even if the truth-seeking ball is useless to you, I have the power of 10 tails and I have other powers. Obito growled. A sudden roar made everyone suddenly stunned. The substantial ripples under Obito's feet suddenly swept away, accompanied by astonishing dust and smoke, forming a tide-like mist, which spread directly towards the surroundings. Crucifixion. Gathering in Obito's hand in an instant, the white figure rushed towards Sasuke in the next second. Although the mouth is very firm, the movements of the hands are very cautious. Covering the hands with a crossfire, is this considered a physical attack, or a ninjutsu attack? Have both. Thinking of this, Sasuke smiled. The moment Obito approached him, Sasuke suddenly waved his hand lightly. The crossfire dissipated instantly. The gods directly extinguished the flames. In the next second, Obito pinched Sasuke's neck with one hand. But in the next second a black thunderbolt appeared in front of Obito. The moment the lightning flickered, Obito's body was directly paralyzed. For a moment Obito froze. What a speed. This is simply unimaginable. How could there be such a fast speed? Obito froze completely. His eyes could barely keep up with Sasuke's speed, but his body couldn't. Sasuke came to behind Obito and put a hand on Obito's shoulder. Then a faint smile appeared. At this level, you still want to fight me in close quarters, are you crazy? After being reminded by Sasuke, Obito remembered that the monster in front of him is not afraid of anyone to fight him in close quarters. On the contrary, his enemies should be wary of him approaching. The paralysis effect of lightning style disappeared. At this time, Obito quickly backhanded an elbow to Sasuke, and at the same time kept a distance from Sasuke. At this moment Sasuke easily blocked Obito's attack with one hand. But at this time, Sasuke looked a little strange. He seemed to be surprised by something. Obito exhaled softly. Damn it. The power of 10 tails. Can't do anything about this guy. Truth-seeking ball was also completely ignored. How am I going to kill this guy next? Obito's face was very ugly, but at this time Sasuke suddenly raised his head. A weird smile appeared. Unexpectedly, there are unexpected gains. Windfall. What windfall? What is this guy talking about? Obito didn't quite understand, but the next second the storm swept over. Accompanied by the rapid breaking wind, Dai Wang's eyelids twitched crazily. It was too late to dodge. Crack. A thunderbolt fell instantly, directly blocking his dodging position. The last two remaining truth-seeking balls turned into a barrier to block the front, but the truth-seeking balls visible to the naked eye were almost instantly swallowed by white light. The spirit of the gods. This trick again. Damn it. Suddenly Sasuke grabbed his stomach with one hand, just as Obito wanted to dodge. Sasuke's hand seemed to stab directly into his stomach, and Obito froze in place. However, in the next second, a scene that stunned countless ninjas appeared. Sasuke grabbed a ball of chakra with one hand. The red chakra, accompanied by Sasuke's hand, was directly pulled out of Obito's body by Sasuke. This is. Madara was startled. Instantly stood up from Susanoo. The next second, one-tail Shukaku appeared behind Sasuke. Chakra, who was pulled out by Sasuke, is indeed one-tail Shuhei. Seeing this scene, all the ninjas were dumbfounded. What's the situation? A tailed beast appeared directly. Obito felt a sharp pain coming from his body while trying to look at Sasuke with wide eyes. Why? Why you? You were able to give the chakra of the tailed beast from the 10 tails inside me too. Sasuke smiled. This is an unexpected discovery. The gods comb chakra. It seems that it is not only able to comb to the most primitive state in one step. And fixed combing to a certain stage Duan Yi is okay. For example, it is completely no problem to restore chakra of 10 tails to the original state of 10 tails. One-tail Shuhei was released. Everyone was dumbfounded at this moment. I've seen tail-grabbing beasts, but I've never seen such tail-grabbing beasts. Grab the tailed beast directly from the enemy's body in a single stroke. What kind of operation is this? Can it still be like this? Even Madara didn't expect that Sasuke could do such a thing. Originally, he wanted to completely integrate the tailed beasts, and Obito would speed up the process, thus forming 10 tails in a true sense. Unexpectedly, Sasuke could directly grab the tailed beast from Obito's body. If this is the case, then even if Obito's time is over, I seem to have to spend more energy to reabsorb the tailed beasts. Damn. Uchiha Sasuke, you really love to give me problems. Now Madara is thinking about a problem. Do you want to make a move now? Ha ha ha. My uncle is finally resurrected. As soon as Shuhei came out, he started roaring crazily. And at this moment Sasuke frowned. He turned his head and looked directly at the 18-tailed guardian crane. You are too noisy. I'd better let you be quiet. At the moment when Sasuke was staring at him, one tail suddenly felt a thump in his heart. However, the next second, Sasuke tapped it lightly with one hand. Shuhei didn't understand what this action meant, but in the next second its body floated up directly. And accompanied by a piece of rock, quickly gathered. Planetary devastation. Shuhei struggled, trying to escape, but in the blink of an eye, the stones rising from the ground wrapped Shuhei tightly. In less than a few seconds, a meteorite was directly formed in the air. This. What is this? Naruto pointed to the meteorite in the sky and said. And the 9 tails in the body answered him directly. This is a seal, planetary devastation, a technique that can directly suppress and seal the power of the tailed beast. Is there such a technique? Naruto swallowed silently. Sasuke's strength, it seems. Even if he has almost complete 9 tails chakra, he is completely unable to resist. Boom. Suddenly the second head-tailed beast appeared. Wei was directly pulled out by Sasuke. While retching in pain, Obito wanted to get away from Sasuke as soon as possible. However, the next second, Sasuke directly activated the heavenly hand power and appeared directly behind Obito out of thin air. Punch. Beep. At the moment when the explosion sounded, Obito was directly punched away, and at the same time, Sasuke caught a tailed beast again. 4 tails was pulled out instantly. The 2-tailed beasts appeared and fell to the ground, but they haven't reacted yet. Planetary devastation activates directly. The 2-tailed beasts ascend to the same fate as 1 tail. Sealed directly by planetary devastation in seconds. Suspended in midair, and Sasuke continues. But after the 3-headed and tailed beast was pulled out, it was even more unresponsive. 5 tails, 6 tails, 7 tails, 8 tails, in less than 10 seconds. All pulled out by Sasuke. At the same time, it directly ascended to the sky, completing the seal. Obito knelt in front of Sasuke, clutching his chest and howling crazily. Every time a tailed beast is caught, it is equivalent to tearing 10 tails. And this kind of tearing, the pain is completely shared by the king. That is to say, it is equivalent to the feeling that Obito has felt many times. The body is torn apart, and the soul is torn apart. Now even the 10 tails in the body still have a part of the power of the tailed beast. It can barely maintain the 6 paths form, but it can't last long. It won't be long before the 6 paths form will be released. Obito, who was constantly tumbling, was so arrogant before, but now he is so embarrassed. All the shadows are still staring at Sasuke dumbfounded. 10 seconds ago, Obito was still able to fight against Sasuke. But now, after becoming like this, he was completely in a state of embarrassment. The tail beasts were drawn out by Sasuke one after the other, and Obito was basically useless. What everyone didn't notice at the moment was that Madara was gone. In the Kamui space, Madara looked at Nagato in front of her. As expected of a member of the Uzumaki clan, with such tenacious vitality, 8 tails was extracted, but he was still dying. And Black Zetsu controls Nagato's body. Master, are you going to be resurrected now? Hearing this, Madara nodded. No way, Obito is too weak to be vulnerable. If we don't start the resurrection again, I'm afraid our plan will fail completely. Black Zetsu nodded. Fine. So be it. Outside at this moment, Sasuke looked up at the tail beasts in the sky. Close your eyes and start absorbing the force zone of the tailed beast. At the same time, 2 unexpected figures appeared on the battlefield. Uchiha Itachi and Orochimaru appeared. When the ninjas of the joint army saw the 2 of them for the first time, they were a little surprised. The ninja of the Uchiha Itachi United Army, yes, Orochimaru. Although it is a little strange, the Jonin also know each other. What are these 2 doing together? At this moment, Orochimaru looked at the planetary devastation in the sky. It's such a terrifying power to seal all the tailed beasts in this form. Itachi at this moment gazes into the distance through the Mangekyo Sharingan. Sasuke. Sasuke is actually absorbing the chakra from these tailed beasts. What exactly is he trying to do? Does Sasuke want to be 10 Tails Jinchuriki too? From 2's mouth, Itachi already knows what the real purpose of the Akatsuki organization is. However, seeing such a scene right now, Itachi's eyes trembled slightly. If Sasuke really wanted to do that, he would stop it no matter what he said. Sasuke, I won't let you go down that path. Speaking of Itachi, he directly unfolded Susanoo, and it was still a full-body Susanoo. The Usaka Guyu in his hand exploded directly, and threw it towards the distance. Swish. Usaka Guyu, who broke through the air in an instant, struck straight in the direction of Sasuke. Sasuke raised his head and narrowed his eyes slightly. Itachi. What are you doing? The spirit of the gods activated directly, and the Bobbin Guyu, which was about to fall, dissipated out of thin air. Everyone was shocked. Attack Sasuke at this time. Who is it? Stop him. Stop him. He is absorbing the chakra of the tailed beast. Absolutely don't let Sasuke do that. He wants to be the Jinchuriki of 10 tails. Itachi's voice filled the entire battlefield. And this time, hearing that Sasuke was absorbing the tail beast chakra, what new 10 tails Jinchuriki would he want to be? Naruto was the first to react at this moment. Directly rushed up with a stride, facing Sasuke's direction, straight out. Turned into a red flash. Sasuke, stop. Before the people arrived, they heard Naruto's crazy roar. Sasuke sighed helplessly. Raise your hand and the earthen walls rise instantly. Bang bang bang. Naruto broke through several earth walls in a row, but he still couldn't completely break through all the earth walls. Sasuke looked up at the sky, about there. Congratulations to host, successfully obtained a copy of One Tail Chakra. Congratulations to host, successfully obtained a copy of our Way Chakra. Yin Yang Dun Nature Transformation Level 6, soon, completed. Yin Yang Escape Upgrade, 5-9. Yin Yang Escape Upgrade, 6-9. Yin Yang Escape Upgrade, 7-9. Yin Yang Escape Upgrade, 8-9. Yin Yang Escape Upgrade, 9-9, finally finished. Sasuke's eyes sparkled with joy. Congratulations to host for completing the Yin Yang Escape Upgrade task. Yin Yang Escape Level Increase, moment. Sasuke's eyes shrank suddenly, and the aura on his body also stopped instantly. The own chakra is completely disordered. At this moment, a completely different force surged up. The whole person felt that the meridians in the body were burst by the turbulent chakra in an instant. Fortunately, it has a super self-healing ability. Even if the tendons are damaged, it can recover quickly. However, Sasuke suddenly stood still, and Itachi, who was rushing towards him, noticed something unusual. Absorbed so many tailed beast chakra Sasuke. The tail beast chakra enters the body, and it is not so easy to control it. Seeing that Sasuke's chakra suddenly became disorganized, Itachi gritted his teeth lightly. However, Naruto, who is the closest to Sasuke, is also struggling with something when he sees Sasuke's chakra disorder. Now is arguably the best time to shoot Sasuke. But, do you really want to do this? Naruto was still hesitating, but suddenly heard Itachi's voice in the next second. Hurry up and help you suppress Sasuke now, and leave the rest to me. Hearing Itachi's voice, at this moment Hashirama and others looked back, and Uchiha Itachi, who was turning on Susanoo, came at the speed of magic. Although I don't know who this guy is, he is obviously a guy from the Uchiha clan. But it seems that, as on their side, the previous Usaka Guyu has already explained the problem very well. Thinking of this, Hashirama smiled, then suppress Sasuke, leave it to me. Wood style, the tree world is coming. In an instant, the wood style vines that exploded rose from the ground, and quickly passed in the direction of Sasuke from all directions. However, at this moment, even though Sasuke himself has fallen into chakra's chaotic state, but Sasuke still has the Soul King in his body. The Spirit King felt the attack, but Sasuke didn't respond, and the Spirit Ochaku reacted directly. There is no need for seals, no process, and Ochaku can communicate with the fire of chakra in Sasuke's body. Launch ninjutsu directly. Facing Wood Style's attack, flames appeared instantly. Boom boom boom. A circle of flames appeared directly around Sasuke. Protecting Sasuke in it, the roar of flames directly incinerated the engulfing wood-style vines. The terrifying high-temperature flames seemed to distort the surrounding space just by relying on the temperature. At this moment, the fire style displayed by the Spirit Ochaku. That was the real surprise. So pure fire style. Hiruzen looked at such flames and was simply amazed. A simple fire style can actually explode with such power. Blocked Master First Hokage's wood style blood succession limit? It's just unbelievable. You must know that wood style is not restrained by fire style, and the escape of heaven and man in first generation is definitely not destroyed by ordinary fire style. But the current fire style is so easy to deal with wood style. It is conceivable how huge the power gap is. This guy. Chakra is already disordered. How did he release ninjutsu? Second Hokage Senju Tobirama was stunned, raised his hand and threw a kunai directly, wanting to pass through the flames, and then directly approached Sasuke through the flying thunder god. However, kunai had just passed through the flames, and in the next second, there was a sound of kunai being bounced away. When the flames were extinguished, what appeared in front of our eyes were the earth-style walls that directly formed half of the fortress. These earth-style come in black. In other words, this earth-style is not an ordinary earth-style. Condensed from extremely pure earth-style chakra. Not to mention hidden weapons, I am afraid that even ordinary attacks will not even try to break through this earthen wall. Water style. Water severing wave. Boom. The stream of water jetting out in an instant shot straight towards the earth wall. Usually, the water flow, which is like a blade, hits the earth wall, leaving only a small hole. What a strong defense. Tobirama's face became a little ugly. At this time, Naruto's wind-style spiral shuriken is ready. Let me try it. The wind-style spiral shuriken formed by raising hands Senju chakra and Nine Tails chakra. There was a sharp piercing sound in an instant, and second Hokage was stunned for a moment. He didn't need to look at the effect of such a technique, but just felt the chakra fluctuation contained in it. It was already very shocking. And when Naruto's wind-style spiral shuriken was thrown, it hit the earth wall for an instant. Wind-style's cutting began to make a sharp grinding sound. An astonishing shock wave spread out. In an instant, the earth wall vibrated. It seems that I still can't break through. Hiruzen was a little surprised that Uchiha Sasuke was able to perform this level of jutsu in this state. This guy is really a monster. However, at this moment Naruto was preparing the second spiral shuriken. But suddenly Itachi's voice sounded, "I'll help you." Pupil art, Amaterasu. The instant the black flame erupted, wind style and fire style merged together. The power suddenly increased. The fusion of fire style and Hefeng Dun seems to have formed scorch style. The fire of Amaterasu combined with the power of wind style instantly tore the earthen wall. And the moment the gap was exposed, Ling Wang wanted to use other techniques to continue the defense. However, in the next second, the long knife formed by the flames pierced through in an instant. Pierced straight into the earth wall. Everyone was taken aback when they saw this scene. This guy from the Uchiha clan, is he trying to kill his relatives righteously? Sasuke. Sorry. If you must become 10 Tails Jinchuriki, then I would rather let you be sealed in my 10-fist sword forever. Talking. Tears were streaming down Itachi's face. The sealing effect of 10-fist sword is not just talk. In the blink of an eye, Sasuke was sucked in. Sasuke, who is still in chakra's chaotic state at the moment, has no resistance at all. Let yourself be sealed. When the red flame dissipated, Sasuke's figure and breath also dissipated. Everyone looked at Itachi, who was crying. Itachi sighed helplessly, looking at the tailed beasts in the sky. Sorry. Sasuke. Naruto was stunned for a moment. Sasuke was sealed? Has it been sealed into the blade like flame? Die? It doesn't seem to count. But not death seems to be no different from death. Why even Sasuke you want to become 10 Tails Jinchuriki in the end, when you were already so strong? Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. The threats were finally gone. And at this time a person is standing on the head of the ghetto statue released from Obito's body. Look up at the tailed beasts in the sky. Sasuke's breath faded away, bringing a smile to his face. Thank you very much. Help me deal with the biggest threat. Now, let me show you what is the real Dao level power. Suddenly Uchiha Madara's voice sounded. Afterwards, everyone's eyes quickly turned to the direction where the voice sounded. Everyone looked at Madara standing above the Geto statue in front of them. Geto statue, who fell to the ground at the same time, was slowly getting up. Madara opens her right eye, revealing Rinnegan. Staring at the people below. For a moment, Hashirama froze. Because it's different. He feels that Madara is completely different from before, and now Madara not only has chakra fluctuations, but also breath. It is absolutely impossible for a person of impure world reincarnation to breathe. But right now Madara is really breathing. This also means that Madara is alive. A living man. How can it be? Madara is dead long ago, how could he? Llama. What? Was it a surprise? But now is not the time for you to be surprised. Raise your hand. Madara's eyes are facing the sky, a tailed beast sealed by planetary devastation. For Madara, who has Rinnegan, it is much simpler. It is equivalent to Sasuke doing Madara a big favor, directly mobilizing the power of Rinnegan, injecting all the chakra of the tailed beast into the Geto statue. At this moment, Geto statue seemed to suddenly reap his own chakra. Immediately, the body began to expand again. And Madara lowered her head and looked at Naruto in front of her, with the corners of her mouth parted. Madara raised her hand to make a mudra. Immediately, a chakra chain exploded from Geto statue's mouth, directly and instantly submerged into Naruto's body. Grab the Nine Tails chakra inside him. In the next second, Nine Tails was grabbed out abruptly. Naruto felt the pain as if his soul was being torn apart. And at this moment, Hashirama, Tobirama, Hiruzen and Tsunade are 4 people. Shot almost at the same time. Stop it, Madara. What are you trying to do? Wood-style vine scroll. Madara's eyes opened suddenly. Susanoo erupted, swung the curved blade recklessly, and cut wood-style vineman off with a direct blow. At the same time, Tobirama, who was flashing, was also blocked by Madara's Susanoo. Kunai and the curved blade rubbed against each other, bursting out a series of sparks. Fly the second Hokage directly. Third Hokage Hiruzen, using ninjutsu to attack and bombard Susanoo's body, has no effect at all. Susanoo didn't even sway. And the last Tsunade approached, trying to attack Madara with a monster power fist. But sorry. Got stabbed through the body by Madara's Susanoo. Then he punched and flew out. Beep. Tsunade, who fell to the ground, got up from the ground and pulled out the curved blade in his body. Wounds heal quickly. Seeing this scene, Madara nodded, as expected of Hashirama's granddaughter, but this self-healing speed is still too slow. Uchiha Madara. I will not let you succeed, Amaterasu. Black flames erupted from Susanoo's body, but in the next second, the black flame was absorbed by Madara. The red Susanoo, who was attacking head-on, immediately engaged in hand-to-hand combat with Madara's Susanoo. Uchiha Itachi. You are very good. As for the Uchiha clan, you are also excellent. But it's a pity why you chose to side with them. It seems that your younger brother is not only better than you, but also more discerning. Now that Sasuke is gone, Madara doesn't know how easy it is. These people can't threaten him at all. Even with one eye, he casually hangs and beats these people. Madara really likes the feeling now. Speaking of which, thank you very much. Uchiha Itachi, if it wasn't for you, I'm afraid I wouldn't dare to show up like this. All of you combined are not as threatening to me as Sasuke Fenzibo alone. Now I can easily deal with you even if I only have a Rinnegan. Boom. Suddenly, Madara pushed Uchiha Itachi back with force, and then White Zetsu appeared next to Madara, raised his hand and handed Madara an eye. And that's the eye, apparently just another Rinnegan plucked from Obito. Put the other eye into the orbit, and rely on the self-healing ability of Woodstyle, and quickly complete the implantation. Madara smiled. Now, my eyes are back. It's even easier to deal with you. With Madara's smile, Rinnegan's power exploded, and Geto statue's power was even more terrifying. Instantly pull Nine Tails out of Naruto's body. Geto statue swallowed Nine Tails chakra in an instant. Naruto immediately fell to the ground. At this moment, the faces of Hashirama and others are extremely ugly. It is self-evident what it means for Jinchuriki to lose the tail beast. This also means that Naruto is going to die. Although it may be because of the relationship of the Uzumaki clan, Naruto's vitality is a bit tenacious, just like Nagato. It won't die in a short time, but if it takes a long time, still can't escape the result of death. Madara, bring back chakra from Nine Tails. Hashirama said and rushed straight in the direction of Madara. But now Madara is too easy to deal with Hashirama. Madara jumped out of the air and looked at Hashirama with cold eyes, and the pupil technique, round tomb boundary prison, was activated. Grab Hashirama directly with the shadow. And Hashirama didn't understand why his body was suddenly controlled. Madara choked his neck and absorbed his chakra directly. On the chest Hashirama's face finally appeared the long-lost fairy chakra. This time Madara's power has also been enhanced again. Madara. You. Hashirama didn't have time to speak, and was dropped by Madara. Floating over Geto statue's head again, Geto statue at this moment has completed the chakra collection of 8-tailed beasts. And one last. Kimimaro. As for Kimimaro's problem, Madara doesn't need to worry about it at all. There is another capable person, Black Zetsu, helping him. Also, Black Zetsu has a nice toy, the half-dead Nagato. It has to be said that Nagato, who has recovered to the peak period, has such tenacious vitality that even Madara is amazed. It's not quite dead yet. The job of capturing the 3 tails naturally falls to Black Zetsu. At this time Black Zetsu appeared, although there is no Rinnegan, but now Nagato has Obito's Sharingan on his face. Relying on the Sharingan and Nagato's terrifying power, the capture of 3 tails was successfully completed. Throw Kimimaro like a dead dog in front of Madara. The 3 tails Jinchuriki has arrived. Madara nodded. At this moment, it is too late for others to stop Madara. Hurrah! The sound of chains sounded. Madara looked at everyone. Obito showed you guys once, but it was the wrong demonstration. Next, I will show you how powerful the real Sage of 6 Paths is, said Madara with a smile on her face. In an instant the 3 tails chakra was pulled out and the Geto statue devoured in an instant. And this moment, Tsunade and the others felt a thump in their hearts. The 10 tails owned by Obito are still incomplete, but Madara is different. He can say that he has complete 10 tails now. And Madara's power is far stronger than Obito, and I'm afraid it will be even worse next time. The moment when 3 tails is completely swallowed, the real 10 tails appeared, and the chakra waves emitted were unprecedentedly terrifying. For a moment, Tsunade and others felt as if their bodies became extremely heavy. Even the air seems to be much thicker, and there is no way to breathe it in. Everyone looked at the Geto statue changing, but at the same time Madara's face, a smile appeared. Directly inhale the Geto statue that has not completely changed into the body. Although the chakra of the all tails has been played again, for Madara, the current 10 tails have become much more docile. And it's all thanks to Obito. Glancing aside, Obito is dying and missing both eyes. Madara smiled. Thank you, Obito. Without you, my plans wouldn't go as smoothly. Saying that, Madara's body burst into light, just like when Obito absorbed 10 tails before. But this time there was no so-called giant white cocoon. Some are just a mass of white light. When the light fades, all that is revealed is the real 6 Paths Madara. Holding the fairy pewter staff in hand, the truth-seeking ball floats behind him. This appearance is exactly the same as the previous Obito, but Madara's momentum is even more terrifying. The feeling of oppression in the whole person is also extremely strong. Compared with the oppressive feeling Obito gave everyone, it was a world of difference. At this moment Tsunade even felt his body trembling uncontrollably. Completely. It seems that I can't muster the strength to resist. Ha ha ha. Do you feel it? This is the true power of the Sage of 6 Paths. Madara held a fairy staff in her hand. Her expression was extremely ferocious and crazy. Revel. Now Madara is very intoxicated by this feeling. The strength of 10 tails is just awesome, and having this level of force zone. Obito was actually pressed and rubbed on the ground by Sasuke, and he didn't even have the strength to resist. What a disappointment. Once the power of 10 tails is mastered, he will indeed become a god-like existence as he imagined. How could even a mere Sasuke be unable to deal with such a situation? Now he is only oppressed by his aura, and he easily makes the group of so-called shadows in front of him unable to move. Madara doesn't understand exactly how Obito uses this power. Madara. You. What are you going to do? Become 10 tails Jinchuriki and rule the world. Hashirama, who has absorbed the magic of chakra, is now very weak. Hearing the question from his old friend Hashirama, he smiled. Rule the world? No, your thoughts are too superficial. Ruling the world or something, that kind of thing is too ridiculous. Speaking of this, Madara seems to be very righteous. It's like you don't understand my pursuit at all. What I want is to create a truly peaceful world, in which there will be no more wars. Create a peaceful world? This guy has the nerve to talk about creating peace? Look around. This is the battlefield, and I don't know how many people have died. And the culprit is the Uchiha Madara in front of me. As far as he has the nerve to say create a peaceful world without any wars? What a joke. It's just plain funny. What you call peace is killing so many people. Tsunade questioned him. Madara looked at her coldly. You won't understand. You people won't understand what I did. Madara. Why can you be resurrected? That's what Hashirama wants to know most now. Hearing this question, Madara smiled. Resurrection is a matter of course. Rinnegan is the power that claims to control life and death. Just cast the Rinne Tensai technique with the Rinnegan, and resurrection is easy. Said so lightly. Hashirama now has a bigger guess. Madara. Did you plan all of this? Hearing this, Madara finally laughed. You guessed it, Hashirama, since the battle in Last Valley, my plan began. To create a truly peaceful world at this time, by becoming 10 Tails Jinchuriki. Did it start from the Valley of the End? A look of disbelief appeared on Hashirama's face. Everything is going well, I got your cells, and I successfully opened Rinnegan. Having the Rinnegan got me the Geto statue. And with the Geto statue, I was able to keep the project going. Thinking about it now, you may probably be able to realize that Geto statue is the body of 10 Tails. And all tail beasts are just chakra separated from the bodies of 10 Tails. Saying that, Madara looked into the distance. The former sage of 6 paths made 10 tails split into 9-tailed beasts, and I only had to collect all the tailed beasts, Shiahuo Tianwei. You can become like the sage of 6 paths. The plan has been very smooth from the beginning to the present, and the only variable is Uchiha Sasuke. Lowering her head, Madara glanced at the crowd. I was still having a headache. How should I deal with Uchiha Sasuke? I was going to die. But I didn't expect that you guys would actually do me a big favor by sealing Sasuke. Ha ha ha. Madara smiled happily. The person most likely to save you was sealed by you. You said it was funny or not? Hearing this, everyone looked at each other in blank dismay, their faces so gloomy that they could drip water. Sasuke is indeed the one most likely to save them. After all, Sasuke's strength is obvious to all, and even relying on himself alone, he is almost on par with 6 paths. But they sealed Sasuke with their own hands, and now, no one can restrict and restrain Uchiha Madara at all. The world seems to be destroyed by these shadows alone. It seems better for Sasuke to be 10 Tails Jinchuriki than Madara. Sasuke only wants to become stronger, but Madara wants to destroy the world. What creates a truly peaceful world is simply bullshit. Hateful. Tsunade punched the ground hard. If only she had stopped Itachi at that moment. Itachi's breathing became very short now, and he seemed to have made the worst decision. Seal Sasuke. If it hadn't been for him, if he hadn't sealed Sasuke with the 10-fist sword, then now Uchiha Madara wouldn't be so afraid of him. Madara. I won't let you destroy the world like this. Although Hashirama also regretted sealing Sasuke in his heart at the moment, the matter has already been done. There is no room for regret. Uchiha Madara has to be stopped too. I used to be able to beat you, and I can do the same now. Madara looked at Hashirama with some disdain. You are no longer qualified to be my opponent, Hashirama Yi. Saying that, Madara just gave Hashirama a slight look. Suddenly, the invisible chakra fluctuations erupted. In an instant, Hashirama felt as if his body sank suddenly, and even his footsteps seemed to be a little unsteady. Almost fell straight down. Simply at this moment, Hashirama put his hands together and directly mobilized the chakra in his body. Bump. Suddenly for a split second Madara appeared directly in front of Hashirama. Grabbed Hashirama by the neck. I've said it all, now you are no longer my opponent at all. Water style, God cry. Countless water droplets swept over. Madara frowned, and a truth-seeking ball directly formed a barrier, completely blocking these things. Immortal tin staff in hand waved directly and instantly. Hashirama froze. Because half of his body completely disappeared. As the body of impure world reincarnation, it can't be recovered. There is no way to recover, Hashirama can feel at the first moment. In the past, when the body was damaged, I didn't feel anything at all, but this time it was different. He can clearly feel his body, it is impossible to recover. Casually leaving Madara with only half of her body left behind, she turned her head and looked at Tobirama, who appeared directly behind her with a flying thunder god. Tobirama, who hadn't had time to attack at this moment, was stunned. How did Madara seem to know the location of her flying thunder god in advance? Do you know? Senju Tobirama, I have already received this technique from you. Izuna was killed by your move in the first place. While speaking, Madara's eyes became extremely cold. The chill flowing in the eyes at this moment seems to be able to freeze the soul of a person. Beep. There was a loud bang. Madara directly pierced Tobirama's chest with the fairy staff in an instant. Raising his hand, black sticks emerged one after another, directly nailing Tobirama to the ground. Before Tobirama could react, he was defeated by Madara. Shodai. Nidem. Hiruzen was very anxious at the moment. He didn't expect that first generation and second generation would be solved so easily by. It's just unbelievable. How could it be so easy and simple to be defeated? Is this the power possessed by Madara at the Sage of Six Paths level? When Hiruzen was in a daze, suddenly Madara appeared behind him. Little monkey. Your strength is much worse than theirs. Do you still want to fight me like this? For a moment, Rickson felt that his body was fighting slightly. As one of the dignified Hokage, his body couldn't stop shaking. What is this? Are you afraid? What are you afraid of since you are already dead anyway? Thinking of this, Hiruzen directly prepared to do it. However, he wanted to attack Madara with the strongest blow, but in the next second the truth-seeking ball had passed through his chest. Hiruzen's body fell down slowly. Too weak, not challenging at all. Turning her head, Madara looked at the only Hokage. Fifth Hokage Tsunade. As Konoha's Hokage, you are too far behind. Madara said, walking very slowly towards Tsunade. And this time, the red Susanoo appeared and Itachi stood in front of Madara. We'll never let you hurt our Hokage. Itachi looked like he would die for Konoha and sacrifice for Hokage. Suddenly Madara felt very angry. The position of second Hokage should have been his Uchiha Madara's. But it was passed on to his younger brother by Hashirama, which is the root of what made Konoha what it is now. If this is not the case, I am afraid that Konoha will be different now. And he didn't have to go out of his way to make plans for it all. As a Uchiha person, he worked so hard for Konoha. You don't deserve to be Uchiha. Punch. Without any fancy fists, Susanoo shattered directly. Itachi fell to his knees directly, with endless anger on his face. Staring at Madara in front of her. Madara looked down at him from above. There is someone like you in Uchiha, it is a disgrace to Uchiha. Madara was about to raise her hand to give Itachi a final blow with the fairy staff. Suddenly someone behind him called him. Uchiha Madara, you said you would bring us back to life, right? It should be fine now. You have become an existence comparable to Sage of Six Paths, summer work should be easy for us. A large group of ninjas from the Impure World reincarnation now stand behind Madara. I forgot. These guys are still there, watching the bleak battlefield on the other side. There are hardly a few ninjas who can still stand. After such a long time, they finally defeated almost all the ninjas of the joint army. And there is also Sasuke's wood-style army, which is almost destroyed. Madara smiled. Feel sorry, you are all restless. I want to create a peaceful world, and I will deal with you first. So you can't be resurrected. These Impure World reincarnation ninjas who took refuge in Madara did not expect Madara to ruin the agreement with them. This guy turns his face and doesn't recognize anyone? Isn't he afraid that people like himself will join forces to deal with him? Uchiha Madara, you're also a legendary ninja, you don't even know what to say. Jin Zhao and Yin Zhao stood up and spoke. However, at this moment, Madara didn't answer, but just cast a glance at them. Then, he raised his hand and launched the universal pull directly, grabbing the two of them. Chakra devoured and sucked the nine tails chakra that participated in the two people's bodies. Because I am Uchiha Madara, Immortal Tinrod then waved the two of them were erased directly. The moment the two disappeared, fourth Hokage Namikaze Minato, who was sealed in the bottle, was finally released. Because of Madara, the bottle was also destroyed incidentally, and fourth Hokage Namikaze Minato was able to escape. However, the reappearing Minato has yet to figure out what happened. The next second there was a series of roaring sounds, and the ninjas of Impure World reincarnation were violently dealt with by Madara one by one. Almost in a blink of an eye, these people have all been dealt with. Leaving behind the last ninja from Impure World reincarnation, Madara turned to look at Itachi's Fang Shi. Now it is your turn. With one step, the body flew directly to Itachi in an instant. Although Minato didn't know exactly what happened at this moment, Madara just wanted to drink a sip of water anyway. They couldn't let him succeed easily. The moment fourth Hokage, who wanted to stop Madara, appeared, the corners of Madara's mouth rose slightly. The immortal tin rod in his hand was directly drawn with a stick. Although Minato felt bad at the last minute, but at the moment of dodging, one arm was still erased by Madara. HMPH. The golden flash looks nothing more than that, but it's not bad if it's a little bit fishier than the little monkey. Speaking of which, Madara has come to Itachi. But the person I, Uchiha Madara, is going to deal with, you'd better not interfere, or I don't mind letting you disappear first. Raise the truth-seeking ball to Itachi's forehead. Madara. Uchiha's traitor will be dealt with by me myself. Whoosh. The truth-seeking ball flew straight out. Itachi's eyes sparkled. Sasuke. I'm sorry. Beep. The moment the truth-seeking ball was about to hit Itachi, a figure appeared and kicked the truth-seeking ball away in the air, skimming directly from the side of Madara's face. Madara froze for a moment. It turned out that the truth-seeking ball was called back. Bang buzz. A sudden roar sounded. In an instant, all ninjas who were still breathing in the entire battlefield suddenly looked in this direction. Uchiha Itachi, half kneeling on the ground, staring at the back in front of him with wide eyes. Time just seemed to stop, until more than 10 seconds passed. Suddenly, Tsunade's voice sounded. Sasuke. This name instantly spread throughout the battlefield. Hashirama, Tobirama, and Hiruzen, who were lying on the ground, raised their heads. Even Namikaze Minato was in a daze. He stared blankly at Sasuke, who suddenly appeared. Where did Sasuke just appear from? Why did he not notice at all? But at this moment Sasuke turned his head slowly and glanced at Itachi, who was half kneeling on the ground. My good big brother actually sealed me, but it's a favor you've done yourself. After all, the sudden escalation of yin and yang escape, in this kind of place, the possibility of Sasuke encountering danger is high. If Madara came at that time, Sasuke would probably be dead by now. Itachi simply sealed himself into the 10-fist sword. In the space of flames, it was the safest place for Sasuke. The system successfully raised the nature transformation level of Yin-Yang Dun to level 6. The upgrade to the 6th level of nature transformation also allowed Sasuke to successfully grasp the power of 6 paths. The power of the so-called 6 paths is actually the application of Yin-Yang Dun. Of course, if you can't master this application skill yourself, then rely on blood, or rely on external force. 10 tails can also achieve the same effect. Obito and Madara rely on 10 tails. And the former Sage of 6 Paths relied on blood. And the younger brother of Sage of 6 Paths, Insatsuki Hamura, too. They rely on the power of blood to master this level of power. But now, Sasuke relied on his talent to directly grasp the power of this level. Uchiha Sasuke, aren't you sealed? How come? Madara looked at Sasuke as if she didn't believe that Sasuke could still appear. But at this moment Sasuke smiled. Is it a surprise? If you were sealed into the 10-fist sword, do you think you can't escape? Hearing this, Madara frowned. Of course he can escape easily. After all, he is a 10 tails with power comparable to Sage of 6 Paths. How could a mere 10-fist sword have the ability to seal him? However, for a sudden moment, Madara seemed to understand. Don't you also? Hearing this, Sasuke smiled. Isn't that blow just now the best proof? A dark light flickered in Madara's eyes. Impossible. How come? Uchiha Sasuke, how is it possible to reach the same level as Sage of 6 Paths on his own? This sentence is impossible. Without 10 tails, why Sasuke can ignore the attack of Truth-Seeking Ball. He even kicked the Truth-Seeking Ball back to himself. Just now, Uchiha Sasuke, did you touch the Truth-Seeking Ball directly, but didn't get hurt? Tobirama lay on the ground, restrained by the black stick, unable to move at all. So much so that he felt like he didn't see clearly. Hashirama nodded. That's right, he kicked Madara's Truth-Seeking Ball back. Didn't it mean that the Truth-Seeking Ball is absolutely untouchable? Tobirama was very puzzled. I said earlier that the Truth-Seeking Ball has omnipotent power, but why can Uchiha Sasuke directly ignore the power of the Truth-Seeking Ball? Make physical contact. Is this what the so-called God Spirit also possesses? Yet Hiruzen has the answer. If the powers of the two are equal, then perhaps it is not impossible to touch the Truth-Seeking Ball. Are the two equally powerful? How can this be? If the power is equal, doesn't that mean that Sasuke has the power of 6 paths level? He didn't get 10 tails. Sasuke seems to have absorbed only a small portion of the tailed beast chakra. Then they were sealed. How can I have the power of 10 tails? If the Truth-Seeking Ball is directly combed into the original chakra with the gods, they can all understand. But it doesn't make sense to restrict Sasuke like this. Impossible. Uchiha Sasuke, there is absolutely no way you have the same power as me. I am now comparable to Sage of 6 Paths, you just have the blood of the Uchiha clan. Without Tail Beast, without 10 tails, how could it be like me? Madara shook her head, shaking her head frantically. Such a thing is absolutely impossible. I've said it long ago, your pursuit of strength is wrong. Strength doesn't have to be obtained by external force, practice can also increase strength. Perhaps in your opinion, 10 tails is the only way to master the power comparable to Sage of Six Paths. But I don't think so. Sage of Six Paths is just a little bit more than others. Since this is the case, then I will have as many as Sage of Six Paths. Sasuke came in front of Kimimaro and looked at Kimimaro, who was still breathing. He directly lowered his head and put his hands on Kimimaro's chest. Stop Kimimaro's death with the yin-yang creation technique. It even helped Kimimaro get back to life. And the next Sasuke plans to save is Naruto. No matter what kind of power it is, it's just the use of chakra. As long as you understand the process, the result will naturally be the same. Said Sasuke to stabilize Naruto's situation. After doing this, Sasuke slowly raised his head and looked at the gloomy Madara beside him. You probably wouldn't understand if I told you. At this moment, Madara gritted her teeth fiercely. It's impossible to achieve what you said, even if you have the same ability as me, that chakra, you can't compare to me. I, Uchiha Madara, am now the perfect Jinchuriki. Boom. Madara's chakra erupts. Although Sasuke's statement was striking, now Hashirama and others also agree with Madara's statement. The current Madara is indeed a terror with a strong chakra. As Jinchuriki of 10 tails, Madara. The strength is not ordinary and terrible. Just like the 4th Hokage and 2nd Hokage who have also mastered the Flying Thunder God technique, their strengths cannot be exactly the same. And Madara chakra will be overwhelming. Chakra? Sasuke smiled. You still think too well, Mr. Madara. Sasuke squinted his eyes. Don't you know that there is a kind of art called immortal art? Ha ha ha. Madara sneered at this, with a look of disdain. Can mere fairy arts be compared with 10 tails? Sasuke nodded. Immortal art may not qualify, so add Sage Transformation. Sage Transformation? What is that? Madara didn't quite understand. And then Sasuke demonstrated it to him in person to let Madara understand what Sage Transformation is. Splitting the corners of his mouth, Sasuke opened his mouth slowly. Sage Transformation. Open. Thanks to the improvement of Yin-Yang done, the level of Sage Transformation has also been raised to the top level. The current Sasuke can be said to have surpassed the Sage of Six Paths, mastered a more terrifying fairy art than him, and at the same time has a perfect fairy body. Endless natural energy, crazily instilled into Sasuke's body. At this moment, the storm suddenly rises. When the surrounding chakra is almost endless, it is absorbed. A huge Uzumaki storm formed in an instant enveloped Sasuke's body. A gigantic Uzumaki also appears in the sky above. At this moment, Sasuke's body also burst into a different light. Purple light rose from the soles of the feet, and the clothes on Sasuke's body also changed in an instant. The clothing changes like Otsutsuki's Tensigen mode, and Sasuke's body bursts out with purple light. The long black hair instantly turned into long white hair. Immediately following the reverse scale on the chest, exudes a bewitching purple light. Big snakes formed by chakra appeared around Sasuke. At this moment, Sasuke's aura suddenly increased again, and even Madara's aura seemed to be incomparable for a moment. Looking at Sasuke, who opened a new form in front of him. Madara's eyes widened, and at the same time, the shadows looked at Sasuke in shock. As this Sage Transformation? Feel Sasuke's current chakra fluctuations. It is not weaker than Zhongziji at all, which makes Madara very surprised. How is it possible? How can a mere Sage mode compare to your own 10 tails? Even if it is Sage mode or something, he has also mastered the magic of Hashirama. Why? Why doesn't Sasuke have this effect? Impossible, absolutely impossible. Madara's complexion rapidly changed from cloudy to cloudy. Is it a surprise? Sasuke smiled and looked at Madara in front of him. Sage Transformation, but it's different from Sage mode. The current Sasuke's Sage mode is just like April in Boruto's legend. And this kind of Sage mode, that is, Sage Transformation, can be said to be a change in physique, not just simply absorbing natural energy. The so-called physical change, in Sasuke's view, is just like the divine tree absorbing natural energy. By absorbing the changes brought about by natural energy, more powerful abilities and chakra can be born. Sage Transformation's chakra, although it is also a fairy chakra. But the strength and characteristics of chakra vary from person to person. A lot of tailed beasts, aren't they the product area that was born after the divine tree absorbed natural energy and strengthened it? The principle is the same as to absorb natural energy, who said that the power of 10 tails must be stronger. Sasuke's collar also has a pattern that looks like a hooked jade. This means that Sasuke's sage transformation also seems to have reached a certain part of the power of the Otsutsuki clan. Even if your sage transformation is different from sage mode, you can't be my opponent, Uchiha Sasuke. Madara didn't seem to want to hear what Sasuke had to say anymore. After all, the more he listened, the more panicked he felt in his heart. For Sasuke, an enchanting monster that is rare in 100 years, he has a heartfelt fear in his heart. HMPH. It's just power obtained by opportunism. Beep. As Madara spoke, she stepped forward, her body exploded at an astonishing speed, and the veins on her face were slightly raised. Holding the fairy stick in his hand, he slammed it hard at Sasuke. Look at your sage transformation, can it block my 10 tails experience? Boom. The moment the tin rod slammed down. Beep. Sasuke raised one hand and directly held the tin rod that fell in the air. The impact exploded instantly from Sasuke's feet. Terrifying power suddenly split the surrounding ground, and dense cracks spread. Dust and smoke swept continuously, and the power that erupted at this moment did make everyone tremble suddenly. The space seemed to be distorted by a terrifying force at this moment. And Sasuke, but he caught the blow with one hand. Everyone stared blankly at Sasuke. Sasuke slowly shook his head at Madara. The opportunist should be you. You, who only rely on 10 tails to gain the power of 6 paths, don't know anything about the power of 6 paths. The power of 6 paths means more than being able to control the truth-seeking ball, control life and death, or create things out of thin air. The 5 escapes, wind, thunder, water, fire, and earth, have evolved into thousands of powers from the 5 escapes. And the last 6. It is yin and yang, so the combination of yin and yang escapes. Only when the nature transformation of yin-yang done has been upgraded to level 6 can he truly control the so-called life and death. And after mastering yin-yang done, its function is not only to create truth-seeking ball. As I said before, every time a nature transformation is mastered, Sasuke's body and chakra can be enhanced differently. The change of the body is like the improvement of the level of life. The change of chakra, the most direct change is to become dirtier. The same chakra has more power and special abilities. But now Madara has not mastered these things, all he has is the most basic improvement after becoming 10 tails Jinchuriki. But Sasuke got more than that. With the improvement of yin-yang done, Sasuke's body has almost reached the so-called indestructible state of King Kong. At the same time, chakra's power is also different from before. Grasping the celestial tin rod with one hand, he pulled Madara's body over in an instant, and Sasuke leaned back with the other hand. A short charge, a quick punch. It hit Madara's chest directly, and at this moment Madara's mouth spurted out a ball of fresh water. Staring wide-eyed at Sasuke's chest, Madara's mind went blank at this moment. How? How is it possible? How could the opponent's strength pervert to such an extent? His body of 10 tails Jinchuriki was comparable to that of 6 paths. Even with one punch, he was wounded. Although the injury can be recovered quickly, but, in terms of strength, Madara is very clear that she seems to be no match for Sasuke at all. It's a little troublesome, Sasuke suddenly said mysteriously. At this moment Madara saw the white silk thread dancing on Sasuke's fist. Gods. This is Sasuke's unimaginable pupil technique, which can sort out all chakra-type attacks or items into their original appearance. Is Sasuke preparing to deal with himself and pull the power of the tailed beast directly from his body just like he did with Obito? No. Absolutely cannot let Sasuke achieve his goal. Sage art. Land escape light teeth. Jian raised his head, and a burst of purple laser burst out of Madara's mouth instantly, shooting directly towards Sasuke's face. Sasuke tilted his head lightly, dodging the attack. Beep. A kick from Sasuke hit Madara in the jaw. Raise Madara high the moment his body vacated and flew directly to an altitude of 20 meters. Sasuke's eyes narrowed slightly, one thought. Thunderburst. Black thunder shone, appearing out of nowhere directly from around Madara. A huge thunder net was formed, directly enveloping Madara's entire body. Crack. The paralyzing effect of lightning made Madara's eyes tremble crazily. Shanshu can hurt him. And below, Sasuke draws his sword madly. The Kusanagi sword was slowly drawn out. Let out a sigh of relief. Breath of thunder. One type. Thunderbolt. 8, even. ZZZ. Suddenly Sasuke's body disappeared instantly like a black thunderlight, and at the same time when it disappeared, a cut appeared on Madara's body instantly, accompanied by flying fish flying high in the air. Thunderbolt flashes 8 times. It flashed 8 times in an instant, and Sasuke moved in the air at super high speed with black lightning. The blade pierced through the air, and the Kusanagi sword easily split Madara's body. Blood continued to fly out. Madara's eyes were shaking wildly. I never thought that one day, I would be beaten so violently. And it was after he mastered the coveted power of Sage of Six Paths. After becoming 10 Tails Jinchuriki, there are still enemies that cannot be defeated. The pain of tearing the body was nothing to Madara. What really frightened him was Sasuke's terrifying speed. Like a ghost, he couldn't keep up. Such an astonishing slash, if not relying on 10 tails, I am afraid that he would have already been cut into an unknown amount. Swish. When the last knife is cut, Sasuke's figure also fell randomly. Sasuke standing on the ground turned his back to Madara in the air. The Kusanagi sword in his hand was slowly put into the scabbard at his waist. Clang. Sheath the long knife. The remnants of thunder flowed behind Sasuke. Madara, who fell from the sky, was covered in blood, and at the same time, the 8 cuts on her body were almost identical. The bone can be seen deep, and it is constantly flowing. However, the power of 10 tails allowed Madara's body to heal quickly and return to its original state. What a fast healing rate. This guy's self-healing ability is so strong. Hashirama frowned. If it is such a self-healing ability, it would be too difficult to kill Madara. Whizzing. Suddenly 2 rapid piercing sounds sounded. Behind Sasuke, 2 truth-seeking balls slammed towards Sasuke fiercely. Veins popped up on Madara's face. Even if you and I have equal power, I am Uchiha Madara. I am 10 Tails Jinchuriki. I will never lose to you. With Madara herself in mind again sprinting towards Sasuke, with 2 truth-seeking balls as cover. Madara clenched the celestial tin rod tightly in his hand, and this time he was going to go all out. Moment. Sasuke took 2 steps back lightly, and then dodged the attack of the truth-seeking ball with ease. And in the next second, the immortal tin staff swept over. Sasuke raised his hand to block. The huge roar produced by the impact exploded instantly. Block the fairy tin rod, bring some slight pain to Sasuke's body, and grab the fairy tin rod with his backhand. The Kusanagi sword in Sasuke's other hand was instantly covered with black thunder. Chidori blade, straight away. However, at this moment, a smile appeared on Madara's face. Click. The Kusanagi sword is broken. A truth-seeking ball suddenly turned into a barrier to block the Kusanagi sword's attack. Let the grass ninja sword break directly. Even the Kusanagi sword, which is a special material, has been eroded by Sasuke's chakra for so long. It has completely made the Kusanagi sword extraordinary. But it is still not as powerful as the truth-seeking ball. After all, the truth-seeking ball has omnipotent power, and can instantly erase any object it touches. Kusanagi sword, although with the protection of Sasuke chakra, but still can't avoid the broken lower length. The broken blade in the air fell aside. At this moment, Sasuke froze in place, and Madara took the opportunity to punch Sasuke hard in the face. Beep. There was a dull crash. Sasuke's body retreated a distance of more than 10 meters before slowly stopping. After stabilizing your footsteps, Sasuke turned his head and wiped the corner of his mouth lightly. And at the same time Madara smiled. It's a pity. Your saber technique is indeed amazing. With that special saber technique, even I can hardly have the confidence to defend. But this is just an ordinary weapon after all, and there is still an insurmountable natural barrier with the power of the Sage of Six Paths level. The proud Madara smiled. Tsunade looked at the broken blade on the ground. Since he knew Sasuke already had Kusanagi sword. This knife may not be as simple as a knife. The black sword, which is rarely seen in the entire ninja world, was eroded by Sasuke with chakra and turned into a lightning-style blade. As long as a little chakra is injected into it, it can directly produce an amazingly powerful lightning-style nature transformation. Amazing power. At the same time, it is also extremely sharp. What's more, the knife may have witnessed Sasuke's growth. And now it's broken. It was broken. For a ninja, weapons are also important companions. Orochimaru also sighed silently. The Kusanagi sword given to Sasuke is indeed his proud work, but it is one of the few good swords. Unexpectedly, it was destroyed today. It's a pity, but it doesn't seem to be an unacceptable thing to be destroyed by enemies at the 6 paths level. But looking at Sasuke's appearance, he seemed a little angry. Although Sasuke has a smile on his face now, Orochimaru, who can understand Sasuke, knows very well that Sasuke's appearance is a precursor to anger. Oh Uchiha Madara, you guys are really looking for death. Dare to make Sasuke angry. Every time Sasuke is angry, the end of the enemy will often become worse. You who don't have a weapon, and me, let's see who has the stronger physical skills. Madara smiled. He who has the truth-seeking ball has long-range attack means, although Sasuke's God Spirit can erase the truth-seeking ball. But when Sasuke uses this trick, he also has other means to attack Sasuke. So, there is no need to worry too much at all. Advantage. Now it's in Madara's hands. Madara, do you think that with the truth-seeking ball, you can gain the upper hand in the competition of physical skills? Suddenly Sasuke said what Madara was thinking, which surprised Madara. However, calm was quickly restored. After all, he is the most talented ninja, even Uchiha Sasuke who is better than himself. It is normal to be able to see this. HMPH. Now that you know it, don't blame me. A ninja's battle is to use one's own advantages to deal with the enemy's disadvantages. I agree with this statement, Sasuke nodded. However, how do you know that your so-called advantage is really an advantage? Hearing this, Madara's face became a little gloomy, and he felt something was wrong from Sasuke's words. Who told you I have no weapons? Saying that, Sasuke raised his hand. A large number of chakra gathered in an instant and broke out suddenly. During the flickering of the light, the white light flashed past. Suddenly a black truth-seeking ball appeared in Sasuke's hand. Making a truth-seeking ball is not so easy and requires a lot of chakra. However, for Sasuke, it's not a problem at all. Sasuke holding the truth-seeking ball instantly transforms it into a taidao similar to the Kusanagi sword. Put the broken Kusanagi sword into the scabbard. Raising his hand and holding the taidao transformed from the truth-seeking ball in his hand, Sasuke's smile exuded a strong chill. See this scene where Sasuke makes a truth-seeking ball straight out of thin air. Madara. He froze in place. This guy. Can also make a truth-seeking ball? How is it possible? Can he make this thing with chakra at will? Even if he, Uchiha Madara, masters the existence of 10 tails with this ability, there is absolutely no way to do it. Holds a blade transformed from a truth-seeking ball in his hand. The smile on Sasuke's face grew even stronger. Seeing Sasuke's smile, Madara had an ominous feeling. Thunder Breath. 2 type. The soul of rice. In an instant, Sasuke approached Madara while stepping, and the instant he approached Madara and reached the attack range of Breath of Thunder, Sasuke directly launched the second type of Thunder Breath. In an instant, 5 or 6 knives were cut out, and the light of the knives instantly enveloped Madara. At the same time, Madara was still in a daze, completely unresponsive to Sasuke's attack. Feeling the pain from his body instantly, he stared at Sasuke with his eyes wide open. Sasuke, who has mastered the truth-seeking ball, now Madara has completely agreed that Sasuke is indeed possible, and has reached the same 6 paths realm as him. But the more this happened, the more Madara didn't understand. Why? What he could do with 10 tails, Sasuke managed to do it by himself. Several wounds were torn from the body. Sasuke's attack did not stop. 3 types. Mosquitoes gather into thunder. In an instant, the lightning ripples released from Sasuke's body slashed Madara in all directions. In an instant, the formed attack completely devoured Madara's figure in an instant. Tsunade, Orochimaru, Itachi and others who saw this scene. They couldn't help but took a deep breath. Sasuke's sword skills are simply amazing. Even Madara, under such saber techniques, was completely powerless to resist. Blood spewed out continuously from the mouth. One knife after another, slashing at Madara's body. A fierce light flashed in Uchiha Madara's eyes. Even if he can make a truth-seeking ball, can it be that Madara can only be used as a target? Round Tomb. Border Prison. The moment the pupil technique was activated, 4 shadows jumped out of Madara's body and rushed straight towards Sasuke. In Sasuke's Rinnegan Sharingan, Madara's shadow can be seen lightly everywhere. The style of wantonness, Far Thunder. Ignoring these shadows, Sasuke's attack was still directed at Uchiha Madara himself. In an instant, the knife hit Madara's chest directly along with the Black Thunder. The chest that was directly cut open was torn apart in an instant. Madara also screamed in pain. but his shadow is already close to Sasuke. 4 shadows unite to surround Sasuke. Even Sasuke would definitely not want to run away now. There was a fierce gleam in Madara's eyes. However, in the next second, a mocking look flashed in Sasuke's eyes. Does this guy think he's the only one with Rinnegan's pupils? Heaven's power. Swish, disappearing in an instant, and reappearing in an instant, Sasuke behind Madara, with the truth-seeking ball blade in his hand, is bursting out with extremely strong chakra fluctuations. Woo's type. Hot World Thunder. More powerful thunder and lightning fluctuations erupted in an instant, gathering out of thin air in an instant, as if even the air was compressed in an instant. It erupted again directly, and then swept towards Madara in an instant. The moment the sound of the breaking wind sounded, suddenly I felt a severe burning sensation on my back. Madara's eyes sparkle. Flying Thunder God? No. This is definitely not the Flying Thunder God technique. It's another technique. Madara's eyes narrowed slightly. The body flew towards the distance like a cannonball. At this moment, Sasuke's voice sounded again. The shape of land. Electric boom, thunder boom. Crack. The roar that exploded in an instant suddenly exploded. One after another astonishing ripples erupted directly from Sasuke's body, spreading across the entire battlefield in an instant. The thunder and lightning lingering on the blade of the truth-seeking ball in Sasuke's hand has completely turned into a black flame. However, in fact, this is still a black lightning. It's just that the lightning fluctuations have been compressed crazily, so that they have been completely compressed into something like a black flame. Sasuke's wretched eyes locked onto Madara's figure. Directly cut out with a knife, the sky seemed to be gloomy at this moment. The moment the thunder and lightning laser shot out, the air seemed to come directly, even the void was cut by Sasuke. A solid black crack visible to the naked eye appeared directly out of thin air. From the direction of Sasuke, it stretches to the direction of Madara. Boom boom boom. The power of this blow, even in Madara's view, is extremely terrifying. Even if it is his 10 tails Jinchuriki body, it may not be able to recover in a short time. With a wave of your hand, all the truth-seeking balls behind you form a layer after layer of barriers to block the front. However, the defensive truth-seeking ball may be useful in front of ordinary weapons. But in front of Sasuke's blow, even just the wind pressure generated by swinging the blade, and the burst of impact can easily crush the truth-seeking ball. The truth-seeking ball shattered directly. In the next second, the black thunder and lightning came directly like an extremely agile black snake. Moment of an instant. Charged directly to Madara. Madara frowned. The 4 shadows rushed towards Madara rapidly, blocking Madara's front. The roar sounded, and the thunder and lightning stopped immediately, hitting the 4 clones. Constantly bombarding the clones, in Madara's field of vision, these clones are actually being wiped out bit by lightning. Seeing this, Madara broke out in cold sweat behind her back. If this is hit, I'm afraid even he. Now let's see what else you can block. Suddenly Sasuke's voice appeared, behind Madara. Madara's body trembled suddenly, and he was in an inverted state, trying to stabilize his figure with all his strength. However, there is no way at all. The strong inertia prevented him from completely stabilizing. The moment you look back, Sasuke's final blow was about to explode. This is probably your last blow, Madara. Bend down and lean down slowly. Sasuke held Konami's truth-seeking ball blade with one hand. At the same time, 3 truth-seeking balls appeared behind Sasuke. Accompanied by the dazzling white light, 3 truth-seeking balls emerged, and lightning danced on the truth-seeking balls. The 3 truth-seeking balls interacted with each other, triggering a more intense thunder. The lightning attached to the 3 truth-seeking balls used exactly Chidori's method of casting. Countless birdsongs sounded. This moment. All eyes are on Sasuke. The continuous and sudden change of position to launch attacks made people overwhelmed and completely dazzled by the terrifying attack rhythm. Terrible. And now the chakra brewing on Sasuke is even more terrifying. Thunder breath. 7 shape. Fire thunder, God. Hideous. Suddenly the blade was unsheathed, and the black thunder covered the blade of the truth-seeking ball had a faint golden flash. At the same time, the 3 truth-seeking balls behind them began to rotate, forming a huge spiral, accompanied by the black brontosaurus that Sasuke slashed out. In the direction of Madara, a straight impact passed. This moment, earth and sky, all trembling, chew on. This moment, the truth-seeking ball that spirals and rages with an astonishing thunder. Chidori's contention sounded over the entire battlefield. hit Madara simultaneously with 3 truth-seeking balls. In an instant, lightning penetrated Madara's left and right shoulders, and at the same time, the third truth-seeking ball hit Madara's forehead with incomparable precision. The power of the 3 truth-seeking balls is extremely terrifying. And there is a terrifying slashing wave following it, mission. Although Sasuke also created the 8th form of Thunder Breath. But the 8th type can only be used for the opening of the last gate of the 8 inner gates. Otherwise, under normal circumstances, the strongest move of Breath of Thunder is still the 7th type, Extinguishing Thunder God. The black thunder glowed with a faint golden light, piercing Madara's chest like a terrifying line of fire in an instant. In an instant, 4 consecutive heavy attacks landed on Madara's body. Boom. The god of fire and thunder, who didn't seem to be so strong, hit Madara for a moment in the... It was as if countless thunderbolts exploded from Madara's chest. Flashing like crazy. The black lightning is like countless spider legs, stretching out from Madara's chest, trying to crawl out of Madara's body. Boom. The vibration of the air. Make a noise. At this moment, Madara hit the ground fiercely, and her body quickly slid backwards like a rocket. In a few blinks of an eye, a problem of hundreds of meters was swept away. Dust and smoke rose all the way. Boom boom boom. The deafening roar put everyone in a momentary state of sluggishness. When have they ever seen such a scene? Such terrifying power can be erupted with just one blow. Is this Sasuke's breath of thunder? Itachi looked at the thunder and lightning in front of him, and then at Sasuke, who let the truth-seeking ball float behind him and walked slowly towards Madara. That swaying figure now looks incomparably stalwart. Even Itachi couldn't help but feel Sasuke's terrifying aura at this moment, like a mountain that is slowly rising. People who are stressed can't breathe. Hashirama is completely confused now. What kind of sword technique is this? Is the sword technique so tender and solid that it bursts out with this level of power? Tobirama. Strictly speaking, this should be regarded as a type of ninjutsu, but even if it is ninjutsu, it is indeed terrifying to have such power. Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. Did Sasuke develop this himself? Hearing this question, Tsunade nodded. That's right, it was developed by Sasuke himself. Hearing the words of 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato, I felt a little ashamed. I am a majestic 4th Hokage, but it seems that I am far inferior to Sasuke. Whether it's the level of strength or the development of skills. Sasuke is indeed the scariest genius Konoha has ever seen. The most evil monster. Swish. The hand was activated, and Sasuke disappeared in a sudden moment. When it appeared again, it was already in front of Madara. Looking at the dying Madara in front of her eyes, whose body has been shattered into a pool of mud. Even the head was blasted to pieces by Sasuke's truth-seeking ball. Such a tragedy, even for Senju Hashirama. I am afraid that he has already died directly. But Madara is different. This is the Jinchuriki of the 10 tails, as long as the strength of the 10 tails is not exhausted. Then it is almost impossible for Madara to be killed. Looking at the rapidly recovering body, Sasuke raised his hand. Divine Spirit activates. Touching the shoulders of Madara's body earlier, Sasuke understood that compared to Obito, the 10 tails chakra in Madara's body is more complete. So much like an iron wall. Therefore, it is obviously impossible to strip the chakra of the tailed beast from Madara's body in the same way as Obito. After all, Madara is not as easy to deal with as Obito. At the same time, the combat commander does not have much time to deal with Madara with the god spirit. Therefore, if you want to strip chakra of the tailed beast from Madara's body, you must first beat Madara so that she cannot get up. At this time, Madara basically has no consciousness, and it is the best time to strip the tail beast chakra. Raising his hand, Sasuke directly seemed to insert his hand into Madara's stomach. Caught chakra from 9 tails and 3 tails. The other tailed beast chakra can wait for a while, but the chakra Sasuke of these 2 tailed beasts must strip them out as soon as possible. The effect of the spirit of the gods is still very strong. Even if Madara mastered the complete 10 tails, it only took a little longer for the gods. Grabbing the chakra of the 2-tailed beast, Sasuke immediately started pulling it out. At the moment when it was pulled out, Madara's consciousness finally recovered. Sasuke looked at Madara in front of him. 10 tails are really hard to kill, but not soon. After stripping away all the tailed beast chakra in your body, Uchiha Madara, what are you left with? Can it still be as strong as it is now? Sasuke is smiling. Hearing Sasuke's words, Madara was sweating profusely at the moment. Because Madara also knows very well that if he loses 10 tails, then the only way to wait for him is defeat. No, absolutely no dog let Sasuke strip the tailed beast chakra out of him. Thinking of this, Madara wanted to get up immediately, but her hands and feet hadn't recovered yet, so she could only watch Sasuke pull the tailed beast chakra out bit by bit. And the moment Madara fully recovered, Sasuke has stripped out more than half of the chakra from the two-tailed beasts. This goes on when the chakra of the two-tailed beasts is completely stripped. His strength is even weaker, and when the time comes to face Sasuke, there is really no hope at all. The end should be the same as Obito. Madara, however, does not see this happening. As a real hero, Madara's awareness is much higher than that of Obito. Immediately Madara directly cut off the stripped tail beast chakra. Despite losing half of the chakra from the two-tailed beasts, there is still half of the chakra remaining, allowing Madara to maintain the status of 10 tails. At the same time, there is no hope of teaching Sasuke. At the moment when the tail beast chakra was cut off, it ran away from Sasuke at the fastest speed. Sasuke, holding the two-tailed beast half chakra in his hand, frowned. Unexpectedly, Madara would use this method of breaking an arm to survive. Trouble. But since we got chakra, which is half of the two-tailed beasts, let's save Naruto and Kimimaro first. Just now Sasuke just controlled vital signs. There will be no problems for a few days, but without chakra the tailed beast will die eventually. Of course, it is enough to replenish them with a little fire of life every day. But that doesn't mean the problem is solved. Thinking of this, Sasuke glanced directly at the fleeing Madara, turned his head and activated his hand power again, with a few flashes. He came to Kimimaro's side. One-handed three-tails chakra was injected directly into Kimimaro's body. At the same time, he appeared next to Naruto in the next second, looking at the unconscious and sleeping Naruto. Chakra of 9 tails was also driven into Naruto's body by Sasuke. The fourth Hokage Namikaze Minato, who has been staying here all the time, looks at the 9 tails chakra in the hands of Sasuke who rushed over. For a moment he didn't know what to say. Sasuke unexpectedly thought of saving Naruto at the first time. It seems that Sasuke is not as unscrupulous as they imagined. Thanks. Thank you for helping Naruto. Minato felt a little embarrassed at this moment. I don't know if it was because I was embarrassed to say thank you, or because he did something to Sasuke earlier. It's embarrassing to fight to that extent and now rely on Sasuke to save the life of his son Uzumaki Naruto. Or both. Sasuke ignored Minato. Now Sasuke, seemingly injecting Naruto with 9 tails chakra. In fact, the real focus is on Madara behind her. Now Madara has been completely restored. The damage just now is actually not worth mentioning for Madara. And Madara deliberately distanced herself, obviously wanting to do something. He wouldn't say run away directly. If it is escape, it is estimated that Madara might as well surrender directly. Standing up, Sasuke turned his head to look in Madara's direction, and Madara had already stopped at this moment. And looked back at Sasuke. Healed already. 9 tails chakra has been re-injected into Naruto's body, can he wake up? This is Minato asking. 21 Sasuke didn't look back but just said lightly. It's only half of 9 tails chakra, but it should be enough for Naruto. If there is no accident, he should wake up immediately. Speaking of this, Sasuke's expression became a little weird. If it was a normal situation, Naruto should have woken up, but now Naruto hasn't woken up yet. In fact, this has already said a lot of problems. Maybe Naruto at this moment is talking to someone somewhere. But now Sasuke doesn't have any sense, that is to say. Sage of 6 Paths, perhaps also made changes. Are you ready to entrust the power of all 6 paths to Naruto? In that case, my plan will have to be changed. Yin-Yang Escape Upgrade Task. Absorb the chakra of the Otsutsuki clan. Increase the level of Yin-Yang Dawn Nature Transformation. Completing this upgrade task will completely upgrade the Yin-Yang Dawn Nature Transformation to the top level. Upgrading to the top level means that Sasuke will complete the upgrade of Yin-Yang Dawn. Also gain the blood of Otsutsuki. It seems that this is the rhythm of becoming completely Otsutsuki. But it doesn't matter anymore. Originally, the Uchiha clan was considered a branch of the Otsutsuki clan. It's just that with the combination with humans, the power of blood is getting weaker and weaker. With the blood of Otsutsuki, Sasuke may be able to reunite the strong bloodline 5. Become the Otsutsuki clan, or merge with human blood to develop in a new direction. No matter what it turns out to be, the most important thing now is to find a way to absorb the chakra of the Otsutsuki family. Originally Sasuke wanted to meet with Sage of Six Paths and absorb a little of Sage of Six Paths chakra. Then the upgrade task is completed. But now it seems likely that Sage of Six Paths just chose Naruto instead of himself. If this is the case, then the chakra of the Otsutsuki clan can only be obtained from Kaguya. Madara's chakra. Sasuke has tried to absorb part of it, but the mission has not changed in any way. That is to say, Madara's chakra is not good, and Madara is not a member of the Otsutsuki family. Although he has become a Ten Tails Jinchuriki, there is still a big difference between the Ten Tails Jinchuriki and the real Otsutsuki clan. And now Madara, it didn't seem like he was preparing to fight himself. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. Madara looked at the moon, at the extremely bright moon in the sky. Uchiha Sasuke, you are very strong, but I will never give up my plan. HMPH. No matter what, no one can stop me now. Raise your hand to make a seal. Madara stared at the moon. Let you take a look at the new world, the world of eternal peace. Infinite Tsukuyomi. Suddenly, the moon turned blood red. At the same time, the eyes on Madara's forehead, the Juguyu reincarnation Sharingan also turned. The pupil power is projected to the entire ninja world through the moon. At this moment, the sky seemed to light up. Countless wood-style vines rise from the ground, cross rivers and mountains, and grow crazily in all the places where there are human beings. Wrap everyone up. Let them fall into illusion. Absorb their chakra at the same time. A divine tree grows in the center of the battlefield. Sasuke looked at the sacred tree rising from the ground. Glanced back in the direction of Naruto and Kimimaro. With a wave of his hand, an area covered by chakra appeared, covering Tsunade, Sasuke, Orochimaru, first generation and others all into the heavy. And little Sakura, she didn't know when she rushed over. The body is also full of scars, and it is obvious that it has experienced quite a fierce battle. What's this? First generation and second generation, rescued by Tsunade, although the body parts erased by the truth-seeking ball still cannot be restored, but at least they can move freely. And Sasuke cut them off from infinite Tsukuyomi. Allow them to clearly see the changes around them. One by one ninjas are entangled by the sudden appearance of wood-style vines. Under the radiance of the light, these people have no ability to resist at all. Everything fell into a sluggish state. Infinite Tsukuyomi, let everyone in the world fall into the illusion. And the body is absorbed by the chakra of these wood-style vines, injected into the sacred tree, and bears the fruit of the sacred tree. Hearing Sasuke's explanation, Hashirama was a little curious. God tree? What is that? Sasuke looked back. First generation, 10 tails is the seed of the tree of God. Although Sasuke said, Hashirama still doesn't understand. It probably starts with the Otsutsuki clan. When Sasuke spoke. At the same time, Naruto was in the spirit world, listening to the words of the Sage of Six Paths. You and Uchiha Sasuke are my son, the chakra reincarnation of Indra and Ashura. Because of my mistake, the two brothers became what they are now. But in your generation, Indra seems to have had a different opportunity. With his own talent, he has grown to be as strong as me. Originally, I wanted to share my power between the two of you equally, and let you decide the fate of the world by yourself. But it seems that Sasuke doesn't need it now, and once I give him half of his power, then you still can't fight Sasuke. Sage of Six Paths looked at Naruto. Naruto frowned. So Grandpa Six Paths intends to give all of his power to me? Sage of Six Paths nodded. Naruto, I see hope from you, the hope of eternal peace in the ninja world. I hope you will not disappoint my strength. Naruto nodded. To be honest, I'm quite happy, Sasuke, as actually my brother in a sense. It would be nice to have a brother. Sage of Six Paths paused. Don't know how to answer Naruto. He raised his hand and entrusted all the power of his Sage of Six Paths to Naruto, as well as the power of Yin and Yang to Naruto. Naruto who got the power of Yin and Yang at the same time. Now listening to the final teachings of the Sage of Six Paths. At the same time, Sasuke was explaining to everyone outside what a sacred tree is. God tree. It is 10 tails. 10 tails transforms into a god tree, absorbs the energy of this world, and thus bears the fruit of the god tree. If you eat the fruit of the sacred tree, you will have incomparably powerful power. Even becoming a god might not be impossible. As Sasuke said, Hashirama, Tobirama, Hiruzen, Minato and others who heard these words for the first time were very puzzled. Are these things true? Then where did 10 tails come from? Suddenly Tsunade asked the question. Speaking of this, we must talk about the Otsutsuki clan. Sasuke glanced at Tsunade. The Otsutsuki clan? They seem to have a little impression of this name, but they can't remember when they heard it. The Otsutsuki family? Is it a very old family? Are there still people? Tobirama said. Sasuke looked at Tobirama and smiled, nodded and pointed at Tobirama. Yes. Of course, you are. Hearing that Tobirama was stunned, he is from the Otsutsuki clan. What are you kidding? I'm a Senju clan, not some Otsutsuki. Without waiting for his rebuttal, Sasuke said directly, whether it is the Senju clan or the Uzumaki clan, the ancestor's name is Otsutsuki Ashura, the son of Sage of Six Paths Otsutsuki Yuya. One sentence made Hashirama and others froze in place. The Senju clan are actually descendants of the Sage of Six Paths? This is something that even Hashirama doesn't know. How do you know? Hashirama wanted to ask Sasuke how he knew. But Sasuke continued talking without any intention of answering the question. Not only Senju and Uzumaki, but Uchiha and Hyuga also inherit the blood of the Otsutsuki clan. The ancestor of Senju and Uzumaki is Otsutsuki Ashura, and the ancestor of the Uchiha clan is Indra, the descendant of Indra. But no matter Senju, Uzumaki, or Uchiha, they can all be regarded as the bloodline upgraded or born from the decline after the Otsutsuki clan combined with humans. And the ones who have inherited the purest Otsutsuki bloodline should be the Hyuga clan. Hearing this, the faces of several people changed. The Hyuga family is the purest family that inherits the blood of Otsutsuki? 10 Tails, itself is not a thing of this world, it came from the universe, and was brought to the ninja world by the Otsutsuki clan. It would be surprising to say that Sasuke described the origin of its various races before. So now it is said that Otsutsuki and 10 Tails are from the universe, which immediately makes Tsunade and others completely confused. Orochimaru on the side glanced at Itachi not far away from him, so that means, Uchiha Itachi and Sasuke are both descendants of the combination of aliens and humans? Being looked at by Orochimaru with weird eyes, Itachi turned his head and looked at Orochi suspiciously. The Otsutsuki family came to the ninja world to plant the god tree through 10 Tails, so that the god tree can absorb the energy of the whole world, and then form the fruit of the god tree. Take the fruit of the sacred tree and leave the ninja world. When the fruit of the sacred tree is truly ripe, the ninja world will be destroyed. The world doesn't exist anymore. Hearing this, Tobirama frowned. According to what you said, the fact that the ninja world still exists means that someone stopped the Otsutsuki clan back then? Hearing this, Sasuke nodded. That's right, the Otsutsuki clan usually act in groups of 2. They are powerful, and humans can't possibly be their opponents. The only one who can stop Otsutsuki is Otsutsuki. Speaking of this, Sasuke smiled. The one who saves the world is Otsutsuki Kaguya. Mother of the Sage of Six Paths. Such a thing is too shocking for first generation and others. Unexpectedly, the mother of Sage of Six Paths saved the world. When Black Zetsu, who was hiding in the dark and was about to make a move, heard this, he looked at Sasuke in surprise. Mother saved the world? This guy is right. Thanks to Otsutsuki Kaguya, if it wasn't for him, the ninja world would have ceased to exist. Hashirama said. Sasuke suddenly laughed when he heard his words. The person you were grateful for was finally sealed by Sage of Six Paths and his younger brother. Seal? Why? Hashirama couldn't figure it out. The other party saved the whole world. Why should she be sealed away? And is that what Sage of Six Paths does? That's his mother. Is it sealed if it is said to be sealed? What a good guy. Why? Why is Sage of Six Paths doing this? As for why? Sasuke smiled, because infinite Tsukuyomi, infinite Tsukuyomi. Does this have anything to do with infinite Tsukuyomi again? Kaguya needs an army. Infinite Tsukuyomi is used to make the army hate. Army? Why does she need the army? Just about to ask, Madara's figure suddenly passed by the sky. Grabbed towards the sacred tree in the distance. Sasuke watched Madara's disappearing figure. Now Madara seems very excited, completely unaware of what will happen next. Black Zetsu is slowly approaching Madara. Coming to the front of the sacred tree, Madara looked at the sacred tree in front of her. Haha. Uchiha Sasuke, now. Even you can't stop me. I am the real and only master of this world. Speaking of which, Madara directly absorbed the sacred tree. And this time, Naruto, who was lying on the ground, slowly woke up. Naruto woke up, and Minato wanted to ask Naruto how he was feeling. But in the next second he suddenly felt something was wrong. Naruto's eyes became deep, and there was a faint sense of ruling the country on his face. He seemed to have changed. He was only a teenager, but suddenly he seemed to have the calmness of a few decades. Naruto. Tsunade also noticed Naruto. Seeing Naruto wake up now, he also breathed a sigh of relief. Naruto looked at Sasuke not far away. He didn't hear what Sasuke said just now. But from what he's learned from the Sage of Six Paths, he doesn't want to hide from Sasuke. Sasuke. Called by Naruto suddenly, did Sasuke look back at Naruto and woke up? Looks like you're in good shape. Sasuke squinted his eyes, can clearly see how powerful Naruto is from Sasuke's eyes. With the complete power of six paths, two states are completely different from before. Sasuke, do you believe that you and I were once brothers? Suddenly asked this question, Sasuke smiled. Others were puzzled. Why did Naruto say that suddenly? Sasuke nodded. Ah. I know. You are the reincarnation of Ashura Chakra, and I am the reincarnation of Indra Chakra. The few people who had just heard about Ashura and Indra were suddenly stunned. Ashura and Indra reincarnation. Naruto was very surprised. Sasuke, how do you know? Do you know it's weird? The Sage of Six Paths seems to tell you everything, but you don't know everything. Naruto frowned. What do you mean? Sasuke smiled. Now is not the time to talk about that. Turning around, Madara is flying over quickly. Looking at Sasuke, who didn't intend to continue talking at all, Naruto was very curious. But there is nothing to do, because he also felt the chakra fluctuations of Madara. Uchiha Madara is fast approaching. Now is not the time to continue asking Sasuke. Wait until Madara falls from the sky, looking down at Sasuke with a smile on her face. At the same time, Madara's gaze also turned a few times on Naruto. Nine Tails Jinchuriki, were you saved? Snort. As she spoke, Madara snorted coldly, releasing her current chakra fluctuations. As if showing off. Show off your own current chakra fluctuations, so that Sasuke, Naruto, Hashirama and others can clearly feel it. The current Madara chakra fluctuations are stronger than before. In other words, Madara's strength seems to have become stronger. He looked at Sasuke, that look seemed to say, look. Even if you take half of the chakra from 9 tails and 3 tails, I still have other ways to get stronger. Liwang. Now it seems like waiting for Sasuke to say something surprising. However, Sasuke just smiled. From your body now, I can see your death. Hearing this, Madara's face suddenly changed. Uchiha Sasuke actually said he was going to die? Sasuke, I am stronger now, even you, absolutely don't want to beat me so easily. And me, Uchiha Madara, suddenly Naruto spoke. Step forward and stand shoulder to shoulder with Sasuke. When the two are together, Yishi's momentum becomes different. And looking at Sasuke and Naruto, Madara's face did become a bit more gloomy. But even with an extra Naruto, Madara wasn't too worried. After all, the current Madara launched the infinite Tsukuyomi, devouring the God Tree. The power has changed even more than before. This guy can continue to grow stronger, let us help you too. Suddenly Hashirama wanted to stand up. However, at this time Sasuke said directly, no need, you intervene, it just makes the battle more troublesome. Naruto, who came to the side, also nodded. Shodai, Master Hokage, you should take a look here. If you do it together, to be honest, it will only get in the way for us. Hearing this, Tobirama pouted lightly, feeling a little uncomfortable. He is a dignified Hokage, and he would be said to be in the way. These two brats. When did he become so defiant? Sasuke didn't care. That talent and strength of this body are indeed admirable. But Konoha's 9 tails Jinchuriki followed suit. Ha ha ha. Just the two of you, do you want to deal with me? Just a 9 tails Jinchuriki plus a Uchiha imp. Boom. Suddenly a strong storm erupted from Sasuke's body, instantly turning into a wind knife in the air and cutting towards Madara. Although Madara only tilted her head slightly, she dodged it. But just at this moment, Sasuke's unexpected attack interrupted his speech. At the same time, Naruto on the side also directly turned on the 9 tails Sage mode. The truth-seeking ball floating behind made Madara's eyes shrink suddenly. This is the power of 6 paths. How can it be? How come 9 tails Jinchuriki also mastered the power of 6 paths? What the hell does this happen? Seeing the moment when the truth-seeking ball appeared, Hashirama seemed to understand why Naruto said they were in the way. With this thing, even if they are the bodies of impure world reincarnation, they have no effect at all. It will still be handled easily, so it is indeed in the way. Why are you? Wong still wanted to ask Naruto, but the next second Sasuke raised his hand, chakra erupted instantly, and the black hounds that suddenly formed gathered on his hand. Turning his head to look at Naruto, although he didn't say anything, Naruto seemed to read Sasuke's eyes directly. I understand what Sasuke means, but I don't know what Sasuke is going to do. But Sasuke tells him to attack, so let's attack. Turning around, Naruto released Rasengan directly, and smashed towards Sasuke's Chidori. But in the next second, Heavenly Hand Strength launched directly. Madara, who suddenly appeared between the two, stared wide-eyed, looking at the two in horror. Beep. In the next second, Chidori and Rasengan hit Madara at the same time. And at this moment there is an amazing light shining in Madara Rinnegan. The shadow was left behind in the next second, and then Madara's body fled directly. Sasuke raised his hand, rolled up the sand directly on the ground, and instantly sealed Madara's shadow. Turning his head, Sasuke looked at Madara who was going away. At this moment, Naruto was a little puzzled. What was that just now? His Rinnegan pupil technique, a special pupil technique, can summon 4 shadows. Ordinary people can't see them, but you should be able to sense them. Only those with Rinnegan can see them. Hearing this, Naruto nodded. I see, no wonder I feel like I hit something, but I can't see it at all. Saying that, Sasuke raised his hand, and the truth-seeking ball turned into a long knife and was held by Sasuke. Are you ready? Naruto froze for a moment, grasping the black stick that the truth-seeking ball turned into with both hands. Ah. That's it. In the next second, Sasuke's sky power was activated again, and Naruto appeared directly in front of Madara. Ban, who was running away, looked at Naruto who suddenly appeared in front of him. Sasuke, is this your Rinnegan pupil technique? Can you move in space instantly, and even move not only yourself, but also directly make enemies or companions move? Sasuke, who heard the words, has returned to him with actions. Thunderbolt gathers again on the truth-seeking ball. Accompanied by the Amaterasu flame. Sasuke threw the truth-seeking ball blade directly. Shoot straight at Ban in the air. At this moment, Naruto waved his black stick and slammed it in Madara's direction. The tandem attacks made it difficult for Madara to dodge. Grabbing Naruto in front of him, he turned around and planned to use Naruto to block Sasuke's attack. But the moment he grabbed the truth-seeking ball blade that Naruto threw towards Sasuke. Swish. Naruto disappeared again and Sasuke appeared in front of him. Sasuke in the air grabs the blade of the truth-seeking ball with his backhand. Straight into Madara's body, black thunder. Black flames. The fire of Amaterasu erupted and seemed to swallow Madara's in an instant, but was quickly absorbed by Madara with Rinnegan. Beep. With one kick, Madara was directly knocked down from the air. The huge Rasengan of Naruto below is ready. Rasengan slammed into Madara who was falling in the air. With the joint attack of the two, Madara was completely unable to resist for a while. A roar sounded, and Madara gushed out a mouthful of blood instantly. How could these two be so strong? Tacit cooperation. There is no time for him to react. Minato was a little surprised. The cooperation between Naruto and Sasuke was really good, and the two didn't have much communication. If it is not a deep enough bond, it is absolutely impossible to do this. It seems that Naruto and Sasuke, the two are obviously very good partners. Chakra's light completely dissipated. Madara's body was also lying on the ground covered with scars. Panting lightly, watching Sasuke fall from the sky while sucking in air. Looking at Naruto who is slowly approaching from the other side. The two came one after the other. Recalling the cooperation between the two, Madara was also extremely shocked. In terms of strength, he should be far stronger than the two of them. But he didn't expect that under the tacit attack of the two, he had no room to fight back at all. Even completely suppressed, although his body is recovering rapidly now. But Madara, who got up slowly, suddenly remembered what Sasuke said just now. There is death on the face. Could it be that I really can only stop at this today? But why? Why I have become the Jinchuriki of 10 tails, comparable to the existence of Sage of 6 paths. It's okay to be no match for Uchiha Sasuke, but Sasuke's talent is obvious to all. It is indeed extremely pervert, relying on its own strength to match 6 paths. Compared with relying on 10 tails by yourself, it is completely different. Losing to someone like Sasuke, Madara can still think clearly. But Lost to Naruto, crushed by a mere 9 tails Jinchuriki. Madara couldn't figure it out, and couldn't figure it out. It's just 9 tails. Why have such power? Suddenly, the moment the two approached Madara, Madara spoke. As if dissatisfied and complaining. However, Sasuke suddenly smiled. Don't you understand? Madara looked up at Naruto. Uchiha Sasuke, I lost to him, I admit it, after all, his talent is really amazing. But you are just a 9 tails Jinchuriki, and I am a 10 tails Jinchuriki. Why? Why? Thinking of Madara's roar, Hashirama and others also sighed helplessly. Suddenly everything around became a little quiet. Sasuke opened his mouth slowly. Because he, like you, received the gift of Tao. Same? What do you mean? Madara suddenly turned her head to look at Sasuke, with puzzlement and doubt in her eyes. The 10 tails you got belonged to the power of Sage of 6 Paths, in fact Naruto also got the power of Sage of 6 Paths. Hearing this, Madara frowned. 9 tails. If it's just 9 tails, how can it compete with Madara who has 10 tails? Sasuke shook his head. Not just 9 tails, of course. Glancing at Naruto, Naruto's expression didn't change much. Sasuke continued talking. Naruto received the power of 6 paths directly from the Sage of 6 Paths. So he actually has the gift of 6 paths like you, so isn't it normal for him to be able to compete with you? Hearing that Madara was stunned, got the power of 6 paths from 6 paths? When did that happen? And isn't Sage of 6 Paths dead long ago? Even if you want to give Naruto some power, it's impossible to keep this power for such a long time. It seems, Madara, that you don't know anything at all. Said Sasuke smiled. Naruto is the son of Sage of 6 Paths, the reincarnation of Ashura, so Sage of 6 Paths gave Naruto the power of 6 Paths. Do you really think that for an existence at the level of Sage of 6 Paths, if it dies, it is really dead? Saying that, Sasuke turned his hand and pointed at Hashirama and others beside him. Even after they die, they can be resurrected to this world. What do you think of Sage of 6 Paths? Hearing this, Madara was stunned. Yes, even he himself can be resurrected again through Rinnegan or something. Sage of 6 Paths apparently does too. But Sage of 6 Paths did not choose to resurrect, but it does not mean that Sage of 6 Paths disappeared completely. His chakra is still there, so it turns out that this is how Naruto gained the power to fight against himself. Hateful. Why? I have worked so hard to plan everything, and this is where I am today. However, Naruto only relied on the reincarnation of Ashura Chakra, and easily obtained the power of 6 paths. By the way, the last Ashura Chakra reincarnated was Senju Hashirama. Hearing this, Hashirama was dumbfounded. Sasuke nodded. Why? Don't you realize that your wood style seems to be much weaker? Hearing this, Hashirama was stunned for a moment. Of course he had already discovered this. It's just that he still simply thought that it was just because he was the body of impure world reincarnation. Naruto glanced at Madara. Are you so surprised? Don't you know that you in the last life are actually the reincarnation of Indra Chakra? Indra. Madara is confused. Whose reincarnation is she? Ashura, Indra, the son of Sage of 6 Paths. The two had conflicts because of their disagreement. They were constantly reincarnated and fought. Sasuke spoke slowly. Hearing this, Madara seemed to understand a little bit. You mean to say that I was also an Indra reincarnation before, and Hashirama was an Ashura reincarnation? And in this life, Uzumaki Naruto is the reincarnation of Ashura, and the reincarnation of Indra. It should be you. Saying that, Madara squinted at Sasuke. Sasuke nodded. Not bad. Everyone looked at Sasuke in surprise. It's no wonder you can get such great power. It seems that Sage of 6 Paths also gave you power. No. Naruto spoke suddenly. He looked at Sasuke with a little helplessness in his eyes. Sasuke didn't get the power of 6 paths, he was able to reach the current level, all relying on his own power. Indra's chakra is only to help Sasuke awaken Rinnegan. Watching Naruto deny his claim, Madara laughed. How do you know? Naruto. I learned from the Sage of 6 Paths that Sasuke is strong. If he gets the power of 6 paths given by 6 paths, then no one in this world will be his opponent. Hearing this, Madara was stunned for a moment. From the mouth of the Sage of 6 Paths. Wait, Sage of 6 Paths is long dead, how is Naruto? Madara. You don't seem to understand that everything you do is just a waste of effort. Let me tell you one more thing. Infinite Tsukuyomi, The real role is not to create your ideal peaceful world. Its real role is to recycle chakra and collect all the chakra in this world. Here Sasuke rebut what he's been planning for years. Madara shook her head. You will never understand the greatness of Project Tsukuyomi. This is the truly peaceful world. Geez, do you know how it came from? Sasuke said suddenly. Raise your finger and point to those in the distance who are wrapped in the sacred tree, absorbing chakra. These people, in this state, will not be long before they will all be transformed into white Zetsu. And now they are caught in the illusion. It's just a short-lived brilliance. Do you really think they will continue like this? After these people died, the so-called ideal world was destroyed one by one. At that time, what is left of the world you created? Die? Madara smiled. No. They won't die, but will live forever in the ideal world I created for them. Everyone will live the most perfect life in their ideal. Isn't this a good world? Perhaps from a certain point of view, Madara's idea is indeed very good. If it is really possible for everyone to live an ideal life, then it is indeed a good thing. After all, the illusion effect brought by infinite Tsukuyomi is actually like a virtual online game in Sasuke's view. If consciousness can enter, then it is indeed a rather amazing thing. But such a life does not mean that everyone wants to have it. And importantly, there is simply no way for everyone to live in a fantasy world forever. Sasuke laughed. See, you don't even know the real use of infinite Tsukuyomi. Speaking of this question, Madara's complexion also became a little ugly. The ones who don't understand are obviously you. You still have to stop me. You still deny my plan until now. Obviously my plan is so. While talking, suddenly a black shadow appeared behind Madara. In an instant, Madara's heart was pierced. A black arm pierced Madara's chest. Pierced directly through Madara's body with blood. Seeing the hand in front of them, everyone was stunned. Madara's eyes contracted violently. She looked down at the hand in front of her, then raised her head and looked behind her. Looking at the sudden appearance behind him, Black Zetsu. You. Black Zetsu smiled himself. I'm sorry, Madara-sama, your role has come to an end now. It's not your time anymore. Why? A drop of cold sweat trickled down Madara's forehead. Looking coldly at Black Zetsu, didn't I create you? Why did you betray me? Hearing this, Black Zetsu shook his head. No, no. Why do you think you created me? Maybe the one who really created me is not you. Thinking of this, Black Zetsu sneered. Do you really think that you created me? Isn't it? This guy is Kaguya's will. Sasuke spoke suddenly. Everyone froze for a moment. Kaguya? Is that the mother of Sage of Six Paths? Is the mother of Sage of Six Paths such a thing? This is too beyond imagination. Suddenly Hashirama and others seem to understand why they want to seal Kaguya. If it looks like this, there really seems to be no other way but to seal it. Madara frowned. What did you say? He looks at Sasuke. However, at this moment, Black Zetsu looked at Sasuke, but he seemed very apprehensive. How could you know? Even Otsutsuki Yuya and Hamura didn't know about this. Hee. Sasuke smiled. I know a lot. Said Sasuke looked at Black Zetsu. Basically I know everything about you, even Kaguya's. Impossible. You can't possibly know this. Speaking of which, Black Zetsu began to devour Madara. Whether you know it or not, it's too late now. In order to resurrect my mother, I have planned for so long. Just for now. Madara looks at Black Zetsu. Have you been using me? That's right. Black Zetsu sneered. Of course. Do you really think that the so-called infinite Tsukuyomi can really create a perfect world? The real function of infinite Tsukuyomi is to revive the mother. Now you have met all the conditions for resurrecting the mother. Madara, you are just a vehicle I created to resurrect my mother. As he spoke, he looked at Hashirama and others. Just like these people resurrected by impure world reincarnation, you are the sacrifice. Hearing this, Madara's expression finally wavered. All my hard work and plans over the years have come to naught. Uchiha Madara, who has dignified himself, has become someone else's puppet and has been manipulated by others. It has been kept in the dark. Madara took one last look at Sasuke. He wanted to say something, but it was too late. When Black Zetsu completely controlled Madara's body, the next second Madara's body began to expand. As if about to explode, both Sasuke and Naruto backed away. After all, Madara is the Jinchuriki of 10 tails, and it would be terrible if she suddenly became violent like this. The power of 10 tails level suddenly exploded. Even Sasuke can't say that he is absolutely safe. looking at the ever-expanding Madara, who is almost beyond recognition. Hashirama on the side couldn't help asking, "Sasuke, what happened to Madara?" It stands to reason that Madara, who owns 10 tails, should not die so easily. Sasuke slowly opened his mouth to explain. Black Zetsu is Kaguya's consciousness, and to revive Kaguya, you need Jinchuriki from 10 tails, activate infinite Tsukuyomi at the same time, and add Black Zetsu possessing these 3 conditions. To revive Kaguya. Hearing this, it seems that the 3 conditions have been completely met. That means, Kaguya will be resurrected soon. Thinking of this, he exhaled lightly. They never thought that they would have the chance to see such a person. Mother of Sage of 6 Paths, isn't that strength even more terrifying? Hearing this, Sasuke nodded, indeed, but it's only at the level of Sage of 6 Paths. Hearing this, Sasuke glanced at Tobirama. Sage of 6 Paths. He just got a part of Kaguya's power, plus the magic of immortality, and the help of his younger brother, so he was able to seal Kaguya by luck. Otsutsuki Kaguya, the originator of chakra. The ancestor of chakra, such a person is not comparable to the Sage of 6 Paths. Naruto. If this guy is really that strong, how can we defeat her? Hearing this, Sasuke smiled. If it's real Kaguya, I'm afraid the possibility is almost less than 10%. But the resurrected Kaguya is actually just a copy of Madara, plus the control of Kaguya's consciousness. The strength is only at the same level as Madara's. Of course, Kaguya control over strength is stronger than Madara's, but physical skills are not enough. Conscious control? This seems a bit incomprehensible. Sasuke also sighed. Point to the moon in the sky. The real body of Otsutsuki Kaguya has been sealed into the moon, and the seal of the moon has not been lifted. It is impossible for Kaguya's body to come out, and what is descending now is only Kaguya's consciousness. Having said that, everyone understands. Is it just consciousness? It shouldn't be that strong. Naruto seemed relieved. Not that strong? Sasuke smiled, but it's not so salty. The expansion of Madara in the distance suddenly stopped, and began to shrink continuously. Form a figure. Sasuke's eyes shrank slightly. Here we come. The ancestor of chakra, Otsutsuki Kaguya, hum. An astonishing storm swept through. In an instant, everyone felt a sense of fear that they had never felt before. As if rising slowly from the bottom of my heart, at this moment, unexpectedly. Even my soul seemed to be trembling uncontrollably. In the next second, a figure finally appeared at Madara's position in the distance. And this figure is looking at the moon in the distance. That back view stunned everyone. The ancient costumes are obviously very old. Just looking at the back, I suddenly felt as if my body couldn't move. It's a strange feeling that's somewhat indescribable. That's Otsutsuki Kaguya. Suddenly Tobirama opened his mouth, and the next second seemed to be a sudden moment, and Kaguya's eyes were fixed on him. Immediately afterwards, a black space channel suddenly opened. Toru Yoruichi stepped forward and came directly in front of the crowd from a distance. This move shocked everyone directly. Does it dominate the space so casually and easily? How can this be? You too. Suddenly Kaguya looked at Sasuke and Naruto. Where are Yuya and Hamura? Both of them have more or less the breadth of 6 paths, so now Kaguya is asking them. Yuya died a long time ago, and Hamura probably still has a sigh of relief. Said Sasuke smiled. Hearing this Kaguya frowned. Who are you? Why do you have Yuya's chakra on you? Everyone looked at Kaguya and then at Sasuke. Does Uchiha Sasuke have no fear in the face of this woman? Thinking of this, everyone is a little puzzled. Strictly speaking, we are only descendants of Yuya. But his 2 sons, chakra, have been reincarnated continuously, and now they are reincarnated into us. Hearing such words, most people may only think it is a fantasy. But Kaguya just nodded slightly. I see. HMPH. Yuya would choose to die. Everyone froze for a moment. What do you mean by choosing to die? Isn't death a normal thing? Isn't Sage of 6 Paths dying of old age? Hiruzen asked tentatively. However, Sasuke replied directly. The Sage of 6 Paths who inherited the blood of Otsutsuki. The lifespan is not generally long. Death is actually not that easy, and it is easier for them to not die. Hearing this, Hiruzen froze for a moment. Why is it easy to make fun of not dying? It seems that Yuya chose to separate the tail beast chakra, right? Kaguya asked. Sasuke nodded. Not bad. Snort. Kaguya snorted coldly, not knowing what kind of emotion he was feeling in his heart. But it seems that the mood is very bad. Maybe it's because I can't take revenge with my own hands, or maybe it's because Sage of Six Paths chose the most stupid way. The tailed beast's chakra was stripped from its body, and the tailed beast's Jinchuriki was lost. Even if it is the Sage of Six Paths, it is natural that death cannot be avoided. It would be fine if it was an ordinary tailed beast, but what he stripped was 10 tails. Those are 10 tails, not any ordinary tail beasts. Unfortunately, there is no hand to solve it, said Kaguya, ready to leave, and she looked back at Sasuke this time. You were excellent. Judging from your appearance, it seems that you do not completely rely on the power of your blood, but you have mastered incredible power through yourself. Come with me. Kaguya invites you. Everyone was stunned. Sure enough, he is indeed the most terrifying evildoer in the ninja world for 100 years. Even the former ancestor of the ninja world can also look up to Sasuke. But Sasuke smiled. What are you doing? Be your guardian. I don't want to be some kind of guardian. Hearing this, Kaguya froze for a moment. You know about Otsutsuki. Protector. Naruto froze for a moment. What is a guardian? Sasuke smiled. Didn't I say it before? The woman in front of me who saved the world, Otsutsuki Kaguya. Woman. Kaguya was stunned for a moment. Sasuke, a human being, or his own junior, sees himself as a woman. Her enemies are people of the same clan, and the Otsutsuki clan is a team of 2, planting sacred trees everywhere. Take back the chakra fruit and hand it in. And she killed her protected person, and because of this, she became the ancestor of the ninja world. There was a dark light in Kaguya's eyes upon hearing this. You know these things? Sasuke nodded. It's not a secret that can't be told. He smiled lightly. If you had told your 2 sons about this, maybe they wouldn't have sealed you either. Why did they seal her? Behind him, Minato couldn't help asking. Because infinite Tsukuyomi, she wants to fight against the clansmen who don't know when the clan will discharge, and come here to destroy the world, so she needs combat power. With infinite Tsukuyomi, absorb this human chakra and be able to make white at the same time. Use the power of white Zetsu to fight against the people of the Otsutsuki clan. Everyone was stunned when they heard the words. They already knew what white Zetsu was. But now listen to what Sasuke said. Only then can I truly understand. It turns out that white Zetsu was created by this woman. Soon the key to it was understood by everyone. Humans are needed to make white Zetsu, then comparisons require killing. Apparently the Sage of Six Paths and his brother couldn't understand his mother's behavior. That's why. Even if I tell them, they still can't understand. I have already given some human beings a chance to live. It only needs to sacrifice a small part of humanity but Yuya and Hamura let me down too much. Saying that, Kaguya looked at Sasuke. Who are you? Why do you even know these things? Sasuke looked at Kaguya. It doesn't matter who I am. The important thing is, do you still want to continue your plan now? Kaguya shook her head. No. Now I have changed my mind. I want to replant the sacred tree, completely destroy this world, absorb chakra, and keep getting stronger, until one day I become so strong that even the Zongja can't deal with me. Find another world and live well. Naruto frowned. Although it sounded like Kaguya was miserable, he was trying to save the ninja world, but was sealed by his 2 sons. But killing humans indiscriminately, just to create white Zetsu. It was also not accepted by him. Now that the world is going to continue to be destroyed, then this woman absolutely cannot just let it go. I won't let you do that. Naruto spoke suddenly, and looked at Kaguya very firmly. And this moment Kaguya looked at Naruto. It seems to see the former Hamura and Yuya. You have the power of Yuya, but you can't defeat me. Naruto smiled. Maybe I can't do it by myself, but... He looked at Sasuke. Sasuke smiled. Let's get started. After finishing her, there shouldn't be any enemies. Well, it should be.